Chapter 2238. What appeared in front of everyone was a forest. The roars of giant beasts could be heard from the depths of the forest from time to time. It sounded very ear-piercing. Especially when they heard the sound waves, they knew that the cultivation of these giant beasts was not low. They were at least great star venerables. They could tell how strong the cultivation of the giant beasts were just by sensing them. It was not because their senses were strong, but because the giant beasts here were indeed very strong. They did not expect to see so many giant beasts here. Welcome, trial takers. You will be welcome to the first round. Kill 20 giant beasts to pass this round. The cultivation of the giant beasts does not matter. You only need to kill 20 giant beasts. A line of words came from above. It was accompanied by a dignified voice that spread in all directions. However, this voice could only be heard in the purple gold divine pavilion. As for the outside, the voice did not spread out. Moreover, the words "Welcome to trial takers" were hung outside. There was no change. Killing 20 giant beasts, is this difficult? Zhu Xing looked disdainful. He had thought that it would be a difficult test. It was just killing 20 giant beasts. With his cultivation, as long as the beasts were not too heaven-defying, he could easily kill them. It was not just Zhu Xing. The other trial takers did not think that it was difficult. They could still kill 20 giant beasts. Little sister Jingxin, do you want to work together to kill the giant beasts? Zhu Xing looked at Jing Xian and asked. Young Master Zhu, thank you for your kindness. I can do this myself. Jing Xian rejected Zhu Xing's kindness. She did not intend to work with him. In that case, little sister Jingxin, you should be more careful. After Zhu Xing expressed his concern, he looked at Yi Tianyun with a provocative gaze and said, Do you dare to compete with me to see who can kill 20 giant beasts first? What is the reward for killing 20 giant beasts first? Yi Tianyun looked at him calmly. There is no reward. This is a competition between men. Do you dare to come? Zhu Xing was provoking Yi Tianyun. He wanted to prove his ability in front of Jing Xian. If this is a competition of dignity between men, then I think you have misunderstood the concept of dignity between men. Yi Tianyun said calmly. Dignity between men is not for doing such stupid things. You. Candle Star was enraged, but he could do nothing to Yi Tianyun. Since they were here, they had barriers on their bodies, so they could not attack their teammates. Otherwise he would have attacked Yi Tianyun long ago. So boring, you don't even dare to accept the challenge. Sister Jingxin, if you like this guy, then you really have no taste. Zhu Xing obviously misunderstood Jing Xian, and thought that Jing Xian was interested in Yi Tianyun. Young Master Zhu, you must have misunderstood something. I don't have any such thoughts at the moment. Jing Xian replied calmly. Her beautiful eyes were a bit unhappy. She was always misunderstood, so how could she be happy? Yi Tianyun had some good points, but for her it was definitely not love at first sight. If they wanted to become Dao companions, they needed to be very familiar with each other. Otherwise, even if they became Dao companions, it would not necessarily be a good result. You better not have such thoughts. You are my woman, Zhu Xing said in an unquestionable tone. You might not admit it now, but in the future, I will let you know that I am the only man who is worthy of you. Zhu Xing's words were quite overbearing. Yi Tianyun had a whole new level of respect for him. It was just that it sounded a bit silly. The more overbearing one was, the harder it was to please the other party. No matter what, Jing Xian was not a spineless person. The more overbearing one was, the more Jing Xian would resist. Jing Xian looked at him indifferently. She did not reply. Her eyes were filled with calmness. His words did not set off any waves in her heart. The main reason was that Zhu Xing had said such words many times. Basically, he would say it every time they met. She was tired of hearing it. If she was willing to be with him, they would have been together a long time ago. Why wait until now? After Zhu Xing finished speaking, he glanced at Yi Tianyun with a contemptuous look. Then he quickly disappeared into the forest, ready to kill the giant beast. The rest of the cultivators also followed him into the forest after watching the show. They did not know why they had to do this. In any case, if they wanted to pass through this place, they had to complete the task. It was that simple. On the other hand, Tianyan was not in a hurry to act. His gaze shifted to the two giant beasts. He could see that their faces were a bit ugly. They did not expect that they would have to kill their own kind after entering this place. This made them feel extremely unhappy. In Tianyan's view, the two of them did not expect that there would be such a rule here. They also had to kill giant beasts. However, they still chose to act. No matter what the rules were, they could only act. Of course, they did not find it difficult. Even if it was their own kind, they would not hesitate to act. As long as they achieved their goal, they would do it. They just felt that the rules were against their own kind, which made them feel very unhappy. If it wasn't for the fact that I can't attack, I would really dig out your souls and see what the plan is. Tianyan's eyes flickered. He could only watch as they slipped away. However, there were still many opportunities. He did not believe that there was only one trial. Young Master Tianyan, can we cooperate? Jing Xian suddenly asked. Sorry, I already have a teammate. Tianyan directly rejected her. Cooperating with her was simply a joke. This scheming woman definitely wanted to gather information about him. She wanted to form a team with him. With her strength, killing 20 giant beasts was a piece of cake. Jing Xian's beautiful eyes slightly narrowed. She did not expect that her invitation would be rejected. Let's go, Tianyan said to Tian Xinghuan. After saying that, he did not pay attention to Jing Xian and left. Tian Kuangyue, who was beside him, glanced over and flew to another area. He only acted because he saw that Tian Xinghuan had made a move. Killing 20 giant beasts was not difficult, especially with Tianyan's strength. As long as they were not too nature-defying, he could deal with them. They also had star venerable level weapons. How difficult could it be? This purple gold divine pavilion must have some special purpose. It is unlikely that they are looking for an inheritor. Tianyan shook his head. He felt that it was a bit unusual. Why do you say that? Tian Xinghuan was a bit curious. She found that since Tianyan had come in, he had not been in a hurry. If it had been other challengers, they would have rushed forward. In their opinion, the faster they finished the battle, the faster they could get the treasures. Tianyan, on the other hand, had taken everything slowly. He would only continue to act after observing the area clearly. If it had been other teammates, they would have gone crazy. Weren't they worried that all the treasures would be taken away? Chapter 2239. Filtering combat power? What do you mean? Tian Xinghuan was stunned. He did not understand what Tianyan meant. It means exactly what it means. The purple gold divine pavilion might filter out some powerful cultivators and carry out some missions, Tianyan said with squinted eyes. Aren't missions meant to filter out inheritors and disciples? Tian Xinghuan asked doubtfully. I think the others probably have the same idea as you. They all think it's possible to filter out inheritors and disciples. However, for now, I don't think it's filtering out disciples. Instead, it's filtering out those with stronger combat power, Tianyan guessed. You can tell from the fact that they can't fight each other. This, Tian Xinghuan's eyes narrowed. Tianyan had hit the nail on the head. Now that he thought about it, that was indeed the case. Such a detailed observation made Tian Xinghuan feel like Tianyan was a monster. They had seen many similar palaces that would filter out their disciples. Thinking about it, they did not have any protection. They came here to compete with each other until the strongest, or rather the top 3 emerged. But now he couldn't attack the trial takers. This was only the first stage, and Tianyan had already figured it out. His ability to guess was really terrifying. This is just my guess. Now that I know what to do. Tianyan smiled with squinted eyes. Since it's filtering out combat power, you only need to complete the corresponding trial to reach the final step. Unless you run into danger along the way, you will be able to reach the end and pass smoothly. Under such circumstances, there is no need to compete with others. All you need to do is pass the trial. After understanding this, there was no competition to speak of. The biggest problem was to pass the trial. The other problems could be ignored. Then they started hunting giant beasts. There were many giant beasts here. After taking a few steps forward, they saw a great star venerate beast pouncing at them. After discovering the two of them, the beast pounced at them without hesitation. The barrier on their bodies did not have any effect on them. When they approached, the two clearly saw the barrier ripple, as if it was declaring that it was ineffective against them. I'm coming. Let's finish this quest first. Yi Tianyan smiled, and was the first to attack. He quickly flipped his hand, and the thunder-long blade appeared in his hand. Then he leaped forward and drew an arc in the air towards the pouncing giant beast. In the next moment, the giant beast was cut into two halves. A large amount of blood rained down from the sky, dyeing the surroundings red. He could easily kill a great star venerable level beast with a single strike. With this star venerable level long saber, its might was completely different. After dealing with it, there was a flash of light. Soon, a mark appeared on Yi Tianyan's body, indicating that he had successfully killed a giant beast. Now that we've dealt with one, let's move on to the next. Yi Tianyan did not feel any joy in his heart. Everything seemed very calm. There was nothing to be happy about after killing a great star-level beast. To him this was already a common thing. Tian Xinghuan, who was next to him, was not as calm. Such a ferocious great star-level beast had been killed so easily. This was beyond her understanding. Over the years, she and Tian Yiyuan had been training outside. They had not had any conflicts with great star-level beasts. Instead, they had fought with other great star-level beasts. However, there was a big difference between the two. Great star-level beasts were stronger than ordinary great star-level beasts. Their strong power and defense were not easy to break. It's your turn to deal with this one. They did not go far before they saw a giant beast on the side. They had discovered the giant beast, and the giant beast had discovered them. They did not hide their auras, so it was normal for the giant beast to discover them. Roar! The next moment, the great star-level beast quickly pounced on them. Tian Xinghuan's eyes turned cold. She held the jade staff in her hand, which shone with ice mirror power. She was ready to fight at any time. She had never fought a great star-level beast before, but she was a great star-level beast. She would not retreat because of this. Especially since she had a great star-level treasure, she was even more confident. Even so, she was still a little flustered. She did not have enough experience in dealing with such a beast. Attack its waist. That's its weakest spot. I'll support you from the side. Don't worry. Just fight. This challenge is to hone the trial taker's experience in fighting with giant beasts. So work hard. Yi Tianyan reminded her. Tian Xinghuan did not reply. Her aura soared. Then she started fighting the great star-level beast. With Yi Tianyan by her side, she felt more at ease. Especially when Yi Tianyan said he would support her. She became more courageous. Yi Tianyan stayed by her side and watched. If anything went wrong, he would help her immediately. Tian Xinghuan was not like him. Even though she had rich battle experience, she would panic when facing giant beasts. There were very few great star-level beasts in this area. They were almost extinct. They had no battle experience in this area. Fighting giant beasts was different from fighting ordinary cultivators. Giant beasts did not know pain. They would fight recklessly with cultivators. If they were not careful, they would be heavily injured. Cultivators were different. Some of them would choose to dodge. They seemed difficult to deal with, but they were not as violent as giant beasts. When they went berserk, no one could stop them. After a fierce battle, Tian Xinghuan finally killed this giant beast. It had taken her a lot of time. She had a great star-level weapon, but it was still difficult to deal with her. They had never seen such a violent and fearless giant beast. She had gone on a rampage and exerted the limits of her body. It's finally done. This great star-level beast is much stronger than ordinary giant beasts. Its defense is especially hard to crack. Even with a great star-level treasure, it will take some skill. Tian Xinghuan went to Yi Tianyan, panting. She had consumed a lot of energy. They were both in the early stage of great star level, so it would take some effort to fight. That's why I said to attack its weakness. That's the most effective way. But take your time. As you get used to it, it will be much easier to deal with it. Yi Tianyan signaled her to go forward and look for the next prey. Tian Xinghuan took a deep look at him. She recalled Yi Tianyan's technique. He could kill it with one strike. At first, she had thought it would be easy. Even if she could not beat Yi Tianyan, she should be able to kill it easily. When she started fighting, she found that was not the case. The real weakness was in a small area. It was very difficult. Chapter 2240. With Yi Tianyan's support, Heavenly Star Ring killed one Grand Star Venerable beast after another. Even the weakest beast here was a Grand Star Venerable. It seemed that without a Grand Star Venerable cultivation, one would not be able to survive here. As Heavenly Star Ring killed more beasts, she became more and more proficient. However, compared to Yi Tianyan, she was still a far cry. She felt that she would not be able to learn Yi Tianyan's direct and efficient methods. After some speculation, she could only say that Yi Tianyan had killed too many beasts to achieve such results. How many beasts did you kill to achieve such results? Heavenly Star Ring could not help but ask. I don't know. I don't really remember. Just take it slow. You will become familiar with it later. Look, after killing a dozen beasts, you are already very proficient. You know how to deal with beasts. If you kill 20 beasts, you will basically become a beast killer. Yi Tianyan said with a smile. I have to say the number of these 20 is just right. If I kill them all by myself, I can really become proficient in it. This stage is clearly to train the trial takers on how to kill beasts. Once you get out of this stage, you will basically have completed your training and can easily kill Grand Star Venerable beasts. Their methods are basically the same. Unless it is a beast in the form of a cultivator, the way to deal with them is about the same. So the Purple Gold Divinity Pavilion is training trial takers on how to deal with beasts. Heavenly Star Ring immediately understood what he meant. This kind of method would not work on cultivators. Why was it used to kill beasts? The answer was obvious. It was used to deal with beasts. The beasts' forms were almost the same, and their attacking methods were about the same. Under such circumstances, specialized training would be much better. Looks like you feel that something is different. I felt the same way before. The Purple Gold Divine Pavilion has a great relationship with the 5-color Emperor Dragon, but I don't have any relevant records. Yi Tianyan frowned. He didn't know much about the Purple Gold Divine Pavilion, but at least from the perspective of fighting against the giant beast, their purpose was the same. Although it was only the first stage of the trial, he could already deduce many things. Forget it. Let's not overthink it. We'll know once we continue the trial. Yi Tianyan did not say anything else. He continued leading Heavenly Star Ring to kill the huge beasts. As they slaughtered their way forward, they soon succeeded in killing 20 giant beasts. It was not difficult at all. Yi Tianyan was able to kill the giant beast with a single slash. It was extremely easy for him. In the end, the Heavenly Star Ring only needed a few moves to finish off the colossal beasts. It could even deal with mid-stage Grand Star Venerate colossal beasts. This kind of rapid improvement made Yi Tianyan feel that Tian Xinghuan's combat talent was quite good. After killing the beasts, 20 faint marks appeared on their bodies. This meant that they had successfully killed 20 giant beasts. At this moment, they all felt a guiding force coming from the depths of the forest, beckoning them to go deeper. They followed the guiding force and quickly arrived at the real passage. If they didn't kill the 20 giant beasts, they probably wouldn't be able to reach this place. The maze here is really exquisite. If we didn't kill the 20 giant beasts, we wouldn't be able to find the exit at all. Yi Tianyan and Tian Xinghuan could feel the difference in their surroundings as they walked. The surroundings changed rapidly as they walked. It was obvious that they had killed 20 giant beasts, which was why they were allowed to enter. When they arrived at the passage, they saw a few familiar figures. Zhu Xing and Jing Exine were chatting. Zhu Xing was still nagging, praising himself for being the first to arrive. Yo, you're finally here. You're really slow. Zhu Xing said sarcastically when he saw Yi Tianyan coming over. Young Master Tianyan isn't slow at all. If it weren't for bringing me along, he would definitely be the first to arrive. Tian Xing retorted with dissatisfaction. She had put up with Zhu Xing for a long time. If Zhu Xing had said that about her, she would have been furious. She wouldn't be able to keep her composure like Yi Tianyan did. First to arrive here? Are you kidding me? Do you think the giant beasts are easy to deal with? You're the first to arrive? Zhu Xing said with a cold smile. Those giant beasts have thick skin and flesh. It would take a lot of effort to kill them. Even if I didn't bring you along, I wouldn't have been the first to arrive. He was quite confident. He was really good at dealing with giant beasts. Really? Young Master Tianyin can kill a giant beast with one knife attack. Can you do that? Tian Xinghuan said sarcastically. One knife attack? How is that possible? Zhu Xing said in disbelief. Even if you're bragging, you should base it on the facts. Many parts of those giant beasts are extremely hard. Even star venerable level treasures can't break them easily. Even if they can break them, it won't be a fatal wound, but it will only bring you trouble. Zhu Xing certainly didn't believe it. Jing Xian, who was next to him, raised her eyebrows. She seemed to have heard some shocking news. Nothing is impossible. You can't do it, but it doesn't mean others can't. Tian Xinghuan was determined to help Yi Tianyin. She couldn't sit still after being mocked and looked down on. You're quite arrogant, girl. Zhu Xing said angrily. You don't even have a unique star dharma form. What are you so arrogant about? What else can you say besides having a unique star dharma form? If you don't have a unique star dharma form, you're nothing. Tian Xinghuan retorted angrily. You don't have any abilities and you don't know anything else. You're also very impulsive. If you didn't have a unique star dharma form, you'd really be at the bottom. Tian Xinghuan's scolding skills were really strong. Yi Tianyin, who was next to her, laughed. What a sharp tongue you have. Zhu Xing said angrily. But I have a unique star dharma form. You're just jealous. Usually, people who don't have any abilities will be jealous of others' abilities. I'm not jealous of you. What's there to be jealous of? You just have a unique star dharma form. Why are you so arrogant? If there were any traps with your personality, you'd definitely be killed there. Tian Xinghuan smiled and pointed at her head. The spiritual intelligence of the head is too low. Even if you have a unique star dharma form, if your spiritual intelligence is too low, you'll still be disabled. You little girl, you're courting death. Zhu Xing roared angrily. Without hesitation, he rushed toward Tian Xinghuan and reached out to slap her. However, just as he was about to attack, he remembered that he couldn't attack other trial takers. He wanted to quickly withdraw his hand. Tian Xinghuan directly collided with Zhu Xing's attack. Boom. Zhu Xing was too slow in withdrawing his hand. Together with Tian Xinghuan's attack, it was equivalent to Zhu Xing attacking. With a series of collisions, Zhu Xing was sent flying by a force. He directly hit the wall and suffered some injuries. See that? This is what a low spiritual intelligence looks like. Tian Xinghuan raised her head arrogantly and mocked. She even looked at Yi Tianyin with a proud expression. Chapter 2241. Tian Xinghuan easily tricked Zhu Xing, and Zhu Xing fell for it. He was so angry that he even forgot the rules. Although he was not as stupid as Tian Xinghuan said, but from the perspective of being easily angered, Zhu Xing was not calm enough. After being provoked by Tian Xinghuan, he immediately lost his mind. This kind of person was easily angered and could easily cause problems. For example, with just a slight provocation, Zhu Xing would immediately lose his mind and pounce over, easily falling into the opponent's trap. Jing Xian shook her head when she saw the situation. With this kind of behavior, so what if he had a unique stellar aspect? If he was set up outside and surrounded by many strong enemies, no matter how unique the stellar aspect was, he would still die. This was also why she did not like Zhu Xing. With this kind of rationality, she really did not want to marry him. If she married him one day, she might even be beaten by Zhu Xing every day. Damn it! Zhu Xing flew over from the side with a pale face. He did not expect that he would be provoked by Tian Xinghuan and lose his mind. Now he even lost his face in front of Jing Xian, which made him very angry. This kind of personality could not be changed for the time being. He was purely spoiled by the Zhu family. Since he was born, he was spoiled and had everything he wanted. No matter what he did, he was always right. Possessing a unique star law, he was naturally spoiled by the Zhu family. They held him in their hands and feared that he would fall. They held him in their mouths and feared that he would melt. They had grown up with a golden spoon in their mouths. Being so spoiled, he would be tolerated no matter what he did. If anyone offended him in the outside world, their entire family would be exterminated. This was just like the emperor in the lower bound. Whoever dared to offend the emperor would die. Here, the Zhu family was equivalent to the emperor. Zhu Xing was the crown prince. Whoever dared to offend him would be courting death. Under such circumstances, Zhu Xing was very overbearing. Jing Xian did not have such a situation. She was very kind to others. The two families had completely different training methods, unlike the Zhu family. Little girl, I hope you will not be caught by me in the future. Zhu Xing threatened. He was very dissatisfied with Tian Xinghuan. With your intellect, how could you catch me? Tian Xing mocked again. Good. Zhu Xing clenched his fists and glared fiercely at Yi Tianyan and Tian Xinghuan. Then he turned around and walked inside, no longer paying attention to them. If they continued to stay here, they would only embarrass themselves. After he left, Tian Xinghuan turned to Yi Tianyan and said with a smile, Young Master Tianyan, sometimes you should refute them and block them. Yi Tianyan smiled and shook his head. Actually, there's no need for that. This person doesn't like to shut the other person up with words. He always likes to seal the other person's mouth. That way, they won't be able to speak. Brilliant. Tian Xinghuan gave him a thumbs up. Only Yi Tianyan could do something so violent. With her strength, it would be extremely difficult to deal with Zhu Xing. If not for the protection of the barrier, she would not dare to say such words. As for whether there would be trouble after she left, she was not worried about that. In any case, she and Tian Yiyuan would be traveling around, and they might not even stay on Crimson Moon Planet. Under such circumstances, there was no need for her to worry about the Zhu family. The Zhu family could only show off their might in Crimson Moon Planet. They could not care about the other major planets. The world was vast, and the Zhu family could not cover the sky with one hand. Let's go. We'll go in together and enter the next stage. Yi Tianyan brought Tian Xinghuan forward and looked at Jing Xian. Jing Xian smiled at him and followed him in. It was obvious that she was waiting for him to come along. Yi Tianyan felt that Jing Xian had also guessed something. Otherwise, she would not have been so unhurried. At the same time, among the many families below, the Zhu family had ugly expressions. They clearly saw the conflict between Zhu Xing and Tian Xinghuan. In the end, it was equivalent to slapping their own mouths. This made the Tian family very embarrassed. Tian Yueming and the others wanted to slap Tian Xinghuan in the face. What did they mean by not provoking them? They actually provoked the Zhu family. The Zhu family was right next to them. What could the Tian family do? On the contrary, Tian Yiyuan laughed. This little sister of his was really sharp-tongued. When she spoke sarcastically, it was easy to anger people. Elder Tian Yueming, you really raised a good daughter. Zhu Feng looked at him with a cold gaze. This is all a misunderstanding. This girl has been fooling around outside. We did not know about it. Especially when she recently betrayed our family, it made us even more distressed. Tian Yueming immediately distanced himself from Tian Xinghuan and chose to protect himself. Tian Yiyuan watched from the side with disdain. It was because of this that he chose to leave the Tian family. They did not even have a bit of backbone. What was there to be afraid of? Although the Tian family was worse than the Zhu family, they were not a family that could be easily bullied. Under such circumstances, they still had no backbone. This really made Tian Yiyuan unhappy. Zhu Feng did not say anything more. They knew about this and did not pursue it. However, Zhu Xing's behavior really made them feel embarrassed. They were not calm and easily angered. They had all kinds of major flaws. The Tian family was also very annoyed. Seeing Yi Tianyan casually walking around inside without any problems, they felt that they had missed out on something. Thinking about how they treated him before, they felt a little regretful. They had a cooperative relationship with Yi Tianyan. If they did not fall out, he would have helped them take care of Tian Kuangyue. Currently, Tian Kuangyue did not appear in the scene. The scene they could see was the starting point and ending point. As for the details of the battle, they could not see them. Perhaps Tian Kuangyue was trapped and temporarily unable to pass. If they had a good relationship with Yi Tianyan, They could have helped Tian Kuangyue, and even teamed up with him. Unfortunately, imagination is beautiful, but reality is cruel. Even if they did not fall out with Yi Tianyan would not have teamed up with Tian Kuangyue. They were once enemies, so how could they cooperate with each other? While the families below were discussing, Yi Tianyan and Tian Xinghuan passed through a long passage, and soon arrived at another scene. Giant rock. There were countless giant rocks here that blocked their line of sight. No one knew what kind of danger lay behind these giant rocks. When they approached, the rules came again. In the giant rock forest, kill 20 giant beasts to pass. Killing giant beasts again. Yi Tianyan's eyes narrowed. Such boring rules, killing giant beasts again and again. Even if the giant beasts here looked different, they were still killing giant beasts. Obviously, they were really training them to kill giant beasts. Chapter 2242. When Yi Tianyan saw the expressions of the two giant beasts, he instantly laughed. They had just killed 20 of their companions, and now they were going to kill another 20. He did not know how many similar trials there were, but from this point he was sure that many trials were related to the giant beasts clan. When that time came, they would kill their companions in a frenzy. That would be really funny. Although it was not a big deal for the two giant beasts to kill their own kind, it was still very sullen. No one liked to kill their own kind, especially when there was no benefit in doing so. Other than him and Tian Xinghuan, probably no one else knew about this. Zhu Xing was not here. After seeing the rules, he probably directly killed his way forward, and did not wait for them to come over. After being humiliated, Zhu Xing did not dare to stay here anymore. He could only kill his way out and attack those giant beasts. Let's finish the trial too, Yi Tianyan said with a smile, and with Heavenly Star Ring he rushed forward. Jing Xian's beautiful eyes narrowed. Looking at Yi Tianyan's back as he left, she also followed him to kill the giant beasts. As they were not in a cooperative relationship, Jing Xian still acted alone. Roar! A loud roar came from the side of the giant rock. Following that, a giant beast covered in thick stone scales pounced over. Yi Tianyan raised his saber, and easily cut this giant beast in half. Even though it had thick stone scales, he could still find the weakest spot and cut it in half. How could he kill it with one slash? Tian Xinghuan was speechless. After inspecting the giant beast's defense, it was obvious that the giant beast's defense was much stronger than before. The thick stone scales didn't seem to have any gaps. Even in this case, Yi Tianyan still found the weakest point of the giant beast and cut it in half. When she saw the cut, Tian Xinghuan's heart trembled. It was quite perfect. If it were her, she would definitely not be able to do it so perfectly. She had killed many giant beasts before, so she was more familiar with killing giant beasts. However, familiarity was one thing, but there was still a huge gap. Especially the giant beast in front of her. It was completely different from the giant beasts she had encountered before. Its various structures and the stone scales on its body were much more difficult to kill than before. It could be said that they were not of the same species. She had to find the detailed weakness to kill them. This required her to get used to it and find the weakness again. Compared to the giant beast she had killed before, the biggest difference was its defense. Previously, Zhang Xian had been able to injure his opponent with just a casual slash. Now, however, he could no longer do so. If he were to casually slash, he would only hit the thick stone scales. But for Yi Tianyan, this new giant beast was not a problem at all. Once you master it, you can also kill it in one strike. Yi Tianyan comforted him. How proficient must I be to be able to do this? Tian Xinghuan smiled bitterly. She felt that she would have to kill at least a few hundred to achieve this. Don't be discouraged, take your time, there is no need to rush, Yi Tianyan said. Let's go, I will support you. Tian Xinghuan nodded heavily. This was the only thing they could do at the moment. They continued to kill the giant beasts. As they had just started, Tian Xinghuan needed to spend a lot of time to kill one giant beast. She became more familiar with the second giant beast and slowly improved. Finally, after killing more than 10 giant beasts, she mastered some techniques. Perhaps she could not compare to Yi Tianyan, but overall, it was much smoother. She killed the giant beasts much faster. After killing 20 giant beasts, there was another guiding force. Just like before, as long as they reached the corresponding value, they would be able to reach the exit. When they arrived, they saw Jing Xian was still waiting there. She was much faster than them. Young Master Tianyun, we are slower this time. Jing Xian smiled. Young Master Zhu went in long ago. He did not wait for us. The giant beasts here are harder, so it is more difficult, Tianyun said with a smile. As for him, he just wants to rush all the way to the end of this trial as soon as possible. Young Master Tianyun, do you have any thoughts about this trial? Jing Xian finally asked. She had not asked before, but after passing this trial, she could not help but ask. I don't have any thoughts. Won't we know the situation if we kill our way in? Tianyun did not say his guess. He did not need to discuss this with Jing Xian. They were not familiar with each other. God knows what she would find out from him. Jing Xian's eyes flashed with disappointment. She stared at Tianyun and said, You are right. Let's continue the trial. After saying that, she turned around and walked in, ignoring Tianyun and Tian Xinghuan. Young Master Yi, she deliberately waited here for you. You are giving her the cold shoulder. Tian Xinghuan smiled. When there was no one else around, she would only call Tianyun Young Master Yi. You know how capable she is. If you chat with her more, she might be able to analyze what I'm saying. Although there are no secrets, it is not a good thing to be seen through, Tianyun said with a smile. If you chat with her more, Sister Jing Xian might fall in love with you. When the two of you become Dao companions, it will be amazing, Tian Xinghuan teased. No, I have no interest in her. Tianyun was not interested in this topic at all. There is no need to say such things. I already have a wife. As he said the last sentence, his expression became very serious. Tian Xinghuan could not help but stick out her tongue. She did not expect Tianyun to be so single-minded. Logically, there was no need for such an expert to be so single-minded. The key was the situation of his Dao companion. If his cultivation was too low, he would not be worthy. Tianyun did not have such thoughts. Instead, his thoughts shifted to the situation outside. They should be making their move. Tianyun's eyes flickered. This time, he was not the only one who entered. His forces were also coming. This was a plan that had been formulated long ago. Soldiers were trained for 1,000 days to be used in a single moment. Such a grand purple gold divine pavilion definitely needed to send forces in to investigate. The most important thing was to guard against the giant beast clan. They had to plant spies everywhere. If there were any problems, they would inform him immediately. Informing him was very simple. He had an avatar outside. As long as he informed his avatar, he would know what was going on outside. There was no way to send a message through a voice transmission. Immediately, Tianyun led his people to the next stage. Chapter 2243. Tianyun and Tian Xinghuan walked through the long passageway, and soon arrived at the next stage. As soon as they arrived, they heard a powerful voice. You have to kill 20 giant beasts to pass this trial. The rules this time did not surprise Tianyun. He had speculated that it was related to the giant beast clan. Sure enough, the third stage of the trial was related to the giant beast clan. And they had to kill 20 of them as well. The scene in front of them changed slightly, and turned into a world of ice and snow. Snow danced in front of them and almost blocked their vision. In this snow, they could vaguely see a giant beast in the distance. It was covered in a thick armor of ice and snow and emitted a faint white light. Zhu Xing and Jing Xian immediately rushed out to kill the 20 giant beasts. Although it was the same as before, they had no choice but to carry it out. Moreover, these giant beasts looked different, so it would be more difficult to deal with them. This could be seen from the first and second stages. The difficulty had increased by a few levels. It was the same now. In terms of cultivation, these giant beasts did not increase much, but the change in their bodies increased their defense and power. Let's go too. Tianyun did not waste time. He led Tian Xinghuan forward and started hunting for giant beasts. Soon, they found the first giant beast. The biggest difficulty of the giant beasts here was their ice and snow armor. Not only was it hard, but it also contained extreme cold ice. After it was released, it could slow down the enemy. However, this did not affect Yi Tianyan's ability. He easily killed these giant beasts with one slash. Tianxing Huan was more difficult. It took a lot of effort to deal with them, and he also had to adapt to the giant beasts here. Due to the experience from the previous 2 stages, he quickly became familiar with dealing with them. Although the giant beasts were different, they were similar in nature. They were all at the giant beast level. It was just a targeted attack. The 20 giant beasts were quickly killed. Yi Tianyan was quite satisfied with Tianxing Huan's rapid improvement. His talent might not be heaven-defying, but his comprehension ability was quite good. This time, when they arrived at the passageway, they bumped into Zhu Xing and the others. When Zhu Xing saw them, his face darkened. He did not expect Yi Tianyan and Tianxing Huan to arrive with them. Previously, both Yi Tianyan and Tianxing Huan had taken a long time to arrive. Whether it was the first stage or the second stage, they were much slower than them. Who would have thought that in the 3rd round, he would catch up with them and be on par with them? Moreover, they had entered earlier than Yi Tianyan and the others. Under such circumstances, they were still able to arrive at the same time. This was truly shocking. How is this possible? How can you guys be so fast? I came in before you guys. Zhu Xing felt that it was inconceivable. Logically speaking, they should be slower. He felt that it would not be easy to deal with the giant beast this time. He would have to put in more effort. Who knew that Yi Tianyan and the others would be faster than him? Young Master Zhu, I didn't expect that we would be able to arrive together with you. Could it be that you meditated and cultivated along the way? Tianxing Huan did not forget to mock others. Previously, Zhu Xing had mocked them for being too slow. Now it was their turn to mock them. That's right. I had some enlightenment along the way, so I rested for a while. You guys caught up. Zhu Xing shamelessly lied. He did not want to admit that Tianxing Huan and the others had surpassed him. Oh, I told you that you were going to cultivate, and you really did. It's snowing everywhere. Aren't you afraid of freezing to death by cultivating here? Tianxing Huan's eyes were filled with mockery. This Zhu Xing was really shameless. Speaking of which, Jing Xian had also arrived here. Otherwise, he would not have been so shameless. What do you know? I can't be bothered to argue with you guys. I hope that you guys can arrive at the same time as me in the next trial. Zhu Xing glanced at Jing Xian and continued to rush forward. He did not continue to stay here. He had already lied. How could he still have the nerve to stay here? He could only turn the tables in the next round. Young Master Tianyan, you guys are quite fast. You actually caught up in such a short time. Jing Xian was quite surprised. She did not know how they did it. Of course, I increased my speed. Naturally, I caught up very quickly. Tianxing Huan even praised himself. However, he quickly lowered his head and sighed. However, it's because of me that I slowed down my speed. If young Master Tianyin came alone, I don't even know how fast he would be. Jing Xian narrowed her eyes and looked at Yi Tianyan. She always felt that she could not see through Yi Tianyan. It would be great if she could team up with Yi Tianyan. However, Yi Tianyan did not intend to team up with her at all. If it were any other cultivator, they would have been more than happy to do so. Whether it was ability or appearance, Jing Xian was definitely one of the best. No one could reject her invitation. She was the only one who could reject others. However, Yi Tianyan rejected her. He was really a weirdo. Jing Xian was not ashamed or angry. If he did not want to team up, then so be it. She would definitely be able to find out more in the future. It seems that young Master Tianyan is quite experienced in dealing with giant beasts. Jing Xian began to probe again. It's all right. Let's not talk too much. Let's go to the next stage. Yi Tianyan cupped his hands and led Tianxing Huan to the next stage. If he continued to chat with her, she would definitely continue to probe. He did not have the time to be entangled with Jing Xian. Jing Xian looked at their backs as they left. Her red lips parted slightly and she muttered, "This is really interesting. I must investigate you thoroughly and find out what kind of background you have." Jing Xian's beautiful eyes flashed with determination. No one could stop her from doing something she had decided on. After passing through the long passage, they proceeded to the next stage. The next stage was still the same, killing giant beasts. It was not that they could not kill giant beasts. It was just that they felt a little bored along the way. Normally, they would be fighting for treasures. What was the point of killing these giant beasts? However, they could only do this. Perhaps they could find some treasures as they continued to kill. The fourth stage of the trial turned into a fiery region again. It was completely different from the third stage. There's nothing much to say. Let's kill. Yi Tianyan did not find it boring. In fact, he found it pretty good. That was because all the giant beasts he killed along the way were great star venerables. He had obtained quite a lot of star energy, which made him feel quite satisfied. Although breaking through now required astronomical amounts of star energy, if he accumulated it bit by bit, it would be quite worthwhile to use it to become an astral tattoo master, let alone increase his cultivation. Chapter 2244. Tian Xinghuan increasingly disliked Zhu Xing, so she wanted to slap him in the face. Zhu Xing was so arrogant, looking down on everyone just because he had a unique stellar aspect. Slap his face. Yi Tianyan smiled slightly. Tian Xinghuan was really ruthless when she wanted to. Indeed, no matter who they provoked, they could not provoke women. They were especially vengeful. That's right, let's not delay any further. Let's start now. Tian Xinghuan really wanted to see Zhu Xing's twisted face, to see how he could still be so smug. Okay. Yi Tianyan nodded and rushed forward with Tian Xinghuan. This time the behemoth had also changed. Its body was covered in flames, and before they got close, they could feel the terrifying flames rushing towards them. If they fought it head-on, the more they attacked the behemoth, the more they would be burned by the flames. However, no matter how terrifying the behemoth was, it was still a matter of one slash for Yi Tianyan. With a simple slash, it was still split into two. Tian Xinghuan's killing speed had also greatly increased. Previously, she needed to kill a few behemoths to become more proficient. Now that she had only killed the first beast, she seemed to be very familiar with it, and could easily kill the behemoth. This situation was like a veteran slaughtering behemoths, and she seemed to be quite relaxed. You are getting more and more proficient. This is only your first time encountering a flame beast, and you can already deal with it so easily. You have improved a lot during this period of time. Yi Tianyan could not help but praise. If this continued, she would probably be stronger than him. This is all thanks to young Master Yi's guidance. It's much better than my brother's. Tian Xinghuan was extremely excited. She felt that she had improved by being able to kill the behemoth so smoothly. If Brother Tian was here, he would definitely be unhappy, Yi Tianyan said with a smile. I'm speaking the truth. My brother's teaching level is not as good as yours. With a little guidance, he will clearly know how to deal with behemoths, Tian Xinghuan said with a smile. In the future, wherever you go for training, you must bring me along. Don't worry. Now that you fellows have joined my force, if there is any danger in the future, I will bring you fellows along first, Yi Tianyan said with a smile. All right, it's a deal. Not only was Tian Xinghuan not afraid, she even felt a little excited. She loved this kind of excitement. Moreover, this mission is definitely dangerous. Don't forget what our real goal is. Yi Tianyan smiled. Tian Xinghuan's expression turned serious. Their true goal was to repel the giant beast race and destroy their ambitions. They came here to train, but it was just to see if there were any treasures. The battle would reach its climax when the giant beasts made their move. Immediately after, they continued to kill the giant flame beasts. As they slashed their way forward, 40 giant flame beasts were easily killed. Yi Tianyan had reaped a bountiful harvest and obtained a considerable amount of star energy, which made him very satisfied. At this rate, it would not be a problem for him to break through to the late-stage Grand Star Venerate. At least, based on the current situation, he did not feel any pressure at all. Since he assisted Tian Xinghuan in killing the giant beasts, he could also obtain star energy. Perhaps he could not obtain all of it, but it was better than nothing. Every time Tian Xinghuan killed the giant beasts, Yi Tianyan would make the first move and add a small slash. That way, he would be able to obtain star energy. Tian Xinghuan was puzzled by this. She did not know why Yi Tianyan would do this. It's over. Let's hurry to the exit. Tian Xinghuan was extremely excited. Compared to the third stage of the trial, their speed was much faster. Under these circumstances, she felt that there was hope of surpassing Zhu Xing. As expected, when they arrived at the exit, they were indeed the first to arrive. Zhu Xing and the others had not arrived yet. It was easy to find out. The passage would indicate whether anyone had passed. If someone had passed, there would be a sign. Now that there was no sign, it meant that no one had passed. Great, we finally surpassed them. Tian Xinghuan was extremely excited. Her face was flushed. How could she not be happy to surpass Jing Xian and Zhu Xing, the two great geniuses? Yi Tianyan smiled and shook his head. It seemed that Tian Xinghuan had almost forgotten their goal. They had just stated their goal earlier, and now they were so happy that they did not know what to do. This was nothing like a great star venerable, but he could understand Tian Xinghuan's thoughts. They could not stand those high and mighty geniuses who were so arrogant just because their families were powerful and they had some talent. Look at Jing Xian. She doesn't have such arrogance, and her attitude towards others is quite good. However, Yi Tianyan did not like her. This woman was too scheming. If he was not careful, he would be plotted against. After they waited there for a while, Zhu Xing hurried over. When he saw the two of them guarding the passage, his expression changed. You're so fast. Young Master Zhu, what's the reason this time? Are you going to cultivate along the way? Or are you going to rest along the way? Tian Xinghuan looked at him with a smile. She was starting to beat him when he was down. At this moment, Jing Xian also came over. Her speed was about the same as Zhu Xing's. According to the actual situation, she was faster than Zhu Xing. After all, Zhu Xing was in the middle stage of Great Star Venerable, while Jing Xian was only in the early stage of Great Star Venerable. If their speeds were about the same, Jing Xian would definitely be faster. How can you be so fast? Are you cheating? Zhu Xing did not refute this time. He did not believe that the two of them could be faster than him. Not to mention that Yi Tianyan is alone, now he is also carrying a burden. How can he be so fast? Cheating? Then you can try to cheat and surpass us. Tian Xinghuan rolled his eyes at him. How could he come up with such a reason? Zhu Xing's face was ashen. He didn't say a word and walked forward, ignoring them. He did not know how to refute this time. They were fast, and there was nothing to refute. He did not feel good after being humiliated like this. When he approached them, he suddenly said coldly, "Fight with me if you can." What he was most proud of was his fighting power. Everything else was just so. No problem. If the protective shield is removed, I will fight with you anytime. Yi Tianyan replied indifferently. He had been unhappy with Zhu Xing for a long time, but he was too lazy to refute him. If he wanted to use words, he would use his fists to seal his mouth. Good. Zhu Xing glanced at them coldly, and continued walking forward, ignoring them. Jing Xian walked over and said with a smile, "This speed is really shocking. Young Master Tianyan, what method did you use to achieve this?" "Nothing much. I just fought my way here." Yi Tianyan shrugged his shoulders and said, "Sister Tianxing, you are just so in this aspect. You improved so quickly. Looks like young Master Tianyan's method is really extraordinary." Jing Xian smiled faintly. "I hope you can show me your ability when you fight with young Master Zhu." Chapter 2245. There will be a chance. Yi Tianyan replied casually, which was equivalent to answering Jing Xian's question. "I'll be waiting." Jing Xian replied with a smile. Her beautiful eyes flickered with a special light. She was indeed looking forward to Yi Tianyun's strength. She wanted to study Yi Tianyun's strength in depth to see how strong he was. Then they continued forward. After passing through the tunnel, they finally arrived at a different area. In front of them was no longer killing giant beasts. Instead, there were 5 doors. Among them, the door in the middle was the largest. The other 4 doors led to unknown places. Zhu Xing stayed at the side and frowned. He did not know what to choose. Yi Tianyan and the rest saw a rule above them. Defeat the guardians of the 4 doors and you will receive different rewards. If you defeat all the guardians, you will receive the purple gold key to open the main door. Zhu Xing was considering which door to deal with first. Every guardian was different. Naturally, the difficulty was different too. Let's just pick this one. Zhu Xing randomly chose a door and rushed in. After opening the door quickly closed and did not open again. It seemed that only after Zhu Xing failed or succeeded could people continue to challenge the door. It's here. At this moment, 2 figures rushed in from outside the door and pounced into the other 2 doors. Before Yi Tianyan and the rest could enter, they were already forced in. It's the giant beasts, Tian Xinghuan exclaimed. He did not expect them to arrive so quickly. This did not surprise Yi Tianyan. They were originally from the giant beast race. It was very easy to deal with the giant beasts. After all, they were of the same race. They definitely knew their weaknesses. As for the giant beasts here, they would not let the 2 beasts kill them. As long as their cultivation was not too high, these giant beasts would not be willing to be killed. Instead, they would choose to resist. Moreover, these giant beasts had been staying here all the time. They did not have any team spirit or sense of ownership. Even if they were of the same race, they would still be killed without mercy. Therefore, they spent a lot of effort, but their overall speed was still relatively fast. If they could kill the giant beasts here at will, that would definitely be the fastest speed. With a wave of their hand, a large number of giant beasts would pounce on them. They would be able to kill them at will. They would still be ranked first. However, he was still following closely behind them, so he was still quite fast. These bastards, they went in first. There's only 1 door left. Tian Xinghuan panicked. She did not know what they would get if they opened the door in the middle, but it was definitely not a good thing if they went in first to deal with the guards. There was only the 3 of them left at the last door. Who would go in first? Young Master Tian Yun, there's only 1 door left. Why don't you go in first? Jing Xian gestured for Yi Tianyan to go in first. She wasn't in a hurry. No, Miss Jing Xian should go first. I'm not in a hurry, Yi Tianyan smiled and said. Tian Xinghuan was overjoyed. He quickly pulled on Yi Tianyan's clothes and said, we can't miss this opportunity. Hurry up and go in. If someone else steals it from us, we'll be in trouble. In this trial, whoever defeated the 4 guards first would be able to enter. No one knew what was behind the gate, but there were definitely many treasures behind it. Especially now, whoever went in first and passed would obtain a quarter of the qualifications. This was a race against time to see who was faster. This opportunity should be given to Miss Jing Xian. After all, Miss Jing Xian tried to persuade us about the matter with the Chu clan. Yi Tianyan said with a smile. Tian Xinghuan didn't expect Yi Tianyan to be so polite. Even at this time, he was still so polite. She had to admit that he was quite gentlemanly. Jing Xian's beautiful eyes flickered. She also didn't expect such an outcome. Yi Tianyan was too polite. It wasn't that she wasn't anxious, but she wanted to see what Yi Tianyan would do. She didn't expect Yi Tianyan to be so gentlemanly and give her the opportunity first. All right then, I'll accept this favor. Jing Xian smiled and walked forward without hesitation. Then she disappeared through the last door. After they all entered, only Yi Tianyan and Tian Xinghuan were left in the hall. Tian Kuangyue and the others hadn't arrived yet, but it was only a matter of time before they arrived, unless they died along the way. The scene here made the Chu clan's people's faces quite strange. Yi Tianyan and the others actually gave up such a good opportunity. They could all see what this meant. Perhaps only one person would be able to enter in the end. But now Yi Tianyan seemed to have a mental problem and gave up the opportunity. The Tian clan's people's faces were also very interesting. They all felt that Yi Tianyan was really crazy, letting go of such a good opportunity. However, they paid more attention to the 2 cultivators who broke in. They had never seen their faces before, but they were the first ones to enter, which made them feel even more ridiculous. For a moment, they were all guessing the identity of the 2 cultivators, and which force they belonged to. You guys are really stupid to cooperate with him. Tian Shengfeng and the others revealed a mocking look. They felt that Tian Yuyuan and Yi Tianyan's cooperation was really a wrong choice. Really? I think at least it's much better than cooperating with you. Tian Yuan's expression was indifferent. He didn't regard these people in front of him as his clansmen. He had completely cut off relations with them a long time ago. Even if his biological father was standing in front of him, he wouldn't feel the slightest bit of emotion. Humph, at least our people won't give up the benefits to others at such a critical moment. Tian Yuan coldly snorted and retorted without any trace of politeness. Really? But you don't even see him. Maybe he died on the way? Tian Yuan said sarcastically. Impossible. Tian Kuangyue definitely has no problem with these trials. Tian Shengfeng said sternly. Even if he rushed over, do you think he can compete with them? Tian Yuan coldly snorted. Why can't he compete with them? Anyway, the opportunity will be given to others. Who knows, maybe he will generously give it up. Tian Shengfeng retorted again. While there was a fierce quarrel outside, Yi Tianyun's mouth curled into a smile. Everything was under his control. Young Master Yi, now we can only wait here for others to come out. Tian Xinhuan sighed. Originally, they could all go in, but who knew that the two giant beasts would take advantage of the situation and enter? Who said we need to wait for others to come out? Yi Tianyun laughed. Come, let's open the door. What, open the door? Tian Xinhuan was startled, wondering if he had heard wrong. Isn't the door closed? How do we open it? With the key, we can open it, Yi Tianyun said with a smile. With the key? Tian Xinhuan was stunned. Where would the key come from? Chapter 2246. Yi Tianyun had been thinking about how to use the key. Now the answer was obvious. It was obvious that the door in front of him corresponded to the purple gold key. In this way, he didn't need to pass the other levels and could easily open the door. Others were fighting bitterly to get the key as soon as possible. Now the key was in Yi Tianyun's hands. It was really funny. Although they could still get the key after passing the 4 levels, it would be too late by the time one of them got the key. Yi Tianyun didn't even know how many treasures he had taken to open the door with the key. Follow me. Yi Tianyun brought the heavenly star ring to the front of the door and looked at it. There was a keyhole on it. As long as the key was inserted, the door could be opened. While he was looking at it, the people watching below laughed. Is he trying to break the door by force? How naive. Hee, maybe he thinks he has the key and can open the door. Where can the key come from? The key can only be obtained by defeating the 4 guards. They all laughed and thought that Yi Tianyun was wasting time. It was such a good opportunity, but now he was giving it away. How could he not waste his time? While the people were laughing at him, Yi Tianyun really took out a key. It was glowing with purple light and looked very magical. Haha, there really is a key. Does he think he can open it just because he can insert it? Maybe he can open it. He just happened to find a key that can be inserted. What a joke. If it can be opened, I also have a key that can be inserted. Would there be people in the purple gold divine pavilion? That's right. How can he get the real key without defeating the 4 guards? When they saw this situation, they almost cried from laughing. They had seen stupid people, but they had never seen such a stupid person. The rules clearly said so. Did he think that if the keyhole could be inserted, it could really be opened? Many of the keyholes were about the same size, but how could it be opened after being inserted? A real key would have a corresponding star pattern inside it. This meant that after the star pattern was filled in, the entire star pattern would be completely lit up. Only then would the door truly be opened. Therefore, if a random key was stuffed in, it would not match. Just when they all thought that Yi Tianyun's head had been kicked by a donkey, the entire door suddenly blossomed with dazzling light. The star patterns on the door were all lit up. Soon, the door let out a rumbling sound and slowly opened. The group of cultivators who had mocked them were dumbfounded and speechless. The whole place fell into a dead silence. Those who had previously mocked Yi Tianyun were now speechless. Their mouths hung open as if they were eating air. It's really open? One of them suddenly spoke up. He was also scared silly by this scene. Inside, Tian Xinhuan was also shocked. He did not expect that Yi Tianyun really had the key. She had thought that Yi Tianyan was joking. Who would have thought that he really had the key and had even opened it? I told you that he had the key, didn't I? Yi Tianyan smiled. Sure enough, this purple gold key could be opened. If it could not be opened, it would be embarrassing. Where did you get this key? Tian Xinghuan was dumbfounded. I picked it up outside. Yi Tianyan made up an excuse. Who would believe that? Tian Xinghuan rolled her eyes at him, but did not care too much. Anyway, it was fine as long as the door could be opened. There was no need to care about where Yi Tianyan found it. As long as he found it, it was fine. Immediately, she became very excited. Now we are much ahead of them. We don't even need to defeat any guards to enter. If they come out and find out that we have entered, I wonder if they will die of anger. No wonder young Master Yi was so calm. You already had the key, but you still pretended to be generous and let Sister Jingxin in. I can see that your actions just now have improved Sister Jingxin's impression of you. But the reality is completely different. Tian Xinghuan wanted to laugh when she thought about what happened just now. If Yi Tianyan had pursued Jingxin, there would definitely be no chance. Forget it, I don't need her to improve her impression of me. She is too smart. If I stay by her side, I won't even know when I will be schemed against. Yi Tianyan shook his head. Such a woman was too scheming. It would not be easy to be friends with her. Let's not talk about this. The door is about to open. Let's go in and see what's inside. Okay. Tian Xinghuan was extremely excited. This time, she had picked up a bargain. She did not have to do anything, but she could enter with them to fight for the treasure. How could she not be excited? After the door opened a gap, they quickly went in. After the two of them entered, the door quickly closed. As for the key, it was taken away by Yi Tianyan. It would not be left above. After they entered, the people watching below could not see the details at all. They all wanted to know what was inside the door. But now they were not allowed to see. They could only see the outermost part. Damn it, they went in. Chu Hutong and the others stomped their feet in anger. When they thought about the people they sent in defeating the guards, they felt very angry. Even the Zhu family did not look good, let alone the Chu family. They had paid such a high price, but it was not as good as Yi Tianyan's own key. Brother Yi, you really have a lot of tricks up your sleeve. Tian Yuan smiled. He felt that things were not so simple. Given Yi Tianyan's character, how could he let others get ahead of him? The expressions of the Tian family became even more gloomy. Previously, they had mocked Tian Yuan for being a fool for cooperating with Yi Tianyan. Now they did not know who was the real fool. While the situation outside was changing, Yi Tianyan entered the door with Tian Xinghuan. As soon as they entered the door, a wave of purple spirit qi surged towards them and entered their bodies. Immediately, they felt their bodies strengthening bit by bit. Even their cultivation levels were improving. Tian Xinghuan's improvement was the most obvious. She was about to break through to the mid-stage Star Venerable Realm. Yi Tianyan would not waste it either. He started absorbing the spirit qi. However, he was increasing his star energy. It was increasing by more than 1,000,000 star energy. It was not a lot, but at least it would keep increasing. It looked like he could still absorb it for a long time. If he accumulated it, he might really be able to break through to the late-stage Star Venerable Realm. Chapter 2247. Yi Tianyan and Tian Xinghuan stayed inside and absorbed the purple gas like crazy. After absorbing for a while, the purple gas in the surroundings quickly thinned. Tian Xinghuan had started to break through to the middle stage of the Great Star Venerable Realm. As for Yi Tianyan, his star energy had also reached the late stage of the Great Star Venerable Realm. I have reached the star energy needed to break through to the late stage of the Great Star Venerable Realm. Let's break through then. Yi Tianyan did not hesitate. As long as he could break through, he would not let go of the opportunity. After deducting a large amount of star energy, he had basically used up all his star energy. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyan for successfully breaking through to the late stage of the Great Star Venerable Realm. Finally, after killing so many giant beasts and absorbing a large amount of purple gas, he could finally break through to the late stage of the Great Star Venerable Realm. However, if he wanted to break through to a higher level, he would need to improve his star Dharma idol. His star Dharma idol was currently at the 4th level. This meant that he would need to upgrade it to the 5th level to increase his cultivation. If he wanted to upgrade to the 5th level of the star Dharma idol, he would need even more precious divine medicine. The entire Red Moon planet basically had none. Otherwise, there would have been no divine star venerables. Once such a divine medicine appeared, the entire Red Moon planet would go crazy. To break through to the 5th level, the 2 known divine medicines were the Venerate Breaker Flower and the Star Divine Grass. These 2 extremely precious divine medicines could not be found on the Red Moon planet. As for the Desolate Dragon planet, there was no need to mention it. However, Tianyin was not disheartened. Perhaps the Purple Gold Divine Pavilion had these 2 divine medicines. Venerate Breaker Flower and Star Divine Grass. Tianyin's eyes flashed. So many great star venerables had come here to search for these 2 divine medicines. Star venerable level treasures were precious, but breaking through one's own strength was the most important. If one had the cultivation of a divine star venerable, even if the other party had a star venerable level treasure, they would still be able to crush them with a single slap. After the breakthrough, Tianyin shifted his gaze to the surroundings. The purple chi here was not enough to satisfy him anymore. The heavenly star ring was still in the process of breaking through, so Tianyin stood up and looked around. Looking around, there were no special treasures, nor were there any control panels. It was just an empty room. As he took a few steps forward, a beam of divine light suddenly descended from the empty space in front of him. A handsome man dressed in purple appeared in his line of sight. After the purple-clothed man slowly landed, he looked at him with a smile on his face. A strong sense of familiarity surged from his body, making people feel very close. Looking at him, it was as if they had known each other for many years. Tianyin looked at him, using his super appraisal eyes to scan him up and down. Detailed information immediately appeared in front of him. Purple Cloud Star Emperor. A wisp of the Purple Cloud Star Emperor's divine consciousness. It has the cultivation of a divine star venerable and controls everything in the Purple Gold Divine Pavilion. Purple Cloud Star Emperor. Tianyin's eyes narrowed. He did not expect the purple-clothed man in front of him to have such a background. However, he had never heard of the title of Purple Cloud Star Emperor. It could only be said that there was too little information here, and it was too long ago. The Wild Dragon Star and the Crimson Moon Star did not know about the past. The most terrifying thing was that just a wisp of his divine consciousness had the cultivation of a divine star venerable. His real cultivation was probably the Star Emperor, a legendary title. Hey, you're the heir of the 5-colored Emperor Dragon. After sizing up Tianyin for a moment, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor immediately recognized what his unique starry Dharma power was. My lord, you know the 5-colored Emperor Dragon? Tianyin's heart sank. Being recognized was either a good thing or a bad thing. He did not know what the relationship between the Purple Cloud Star Emperor and the 5-colored Emperor Dragon was. If they were enemies, it would be really scary. Perhaps the Purple Cloud Star Emperor would kill him right away. On the other hand, if he had a good relationship with the 5-colored Emperor Dragon, he could reap benefits. This was a 50-50 chance, which was equivalent to a gamble. Although they had been dealing with the giant beasts along the way, and logically speaking, they should be on the same side as the 5-colored Emperor Dragon, but who could say for sure? But from the looks of it, they should not be enemies. Of course I know him. He's my sworn enemy. How could I not know him? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor smiled calmly. Tianyin's heart sank. Was this not a sign that he was doomed? Since they were sworn enemies, wouldn't that mean they would fight to the bitter end? He immediately prepared the Super Teleportation Godstone for escape. It could pass through the prohibition and escape outside. Even the Purple Cloud Star Emperor would not be able to stop him. Sworn enemy? Tianyin asked as he walked to the side. Once the attack came, he would immediately run away with the Heavenly Star Ring. Don't be so nervous. I won't do anything to you. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor smiled. He could see that Tianyin was a little nervous. He and I are sworn enemies. We have always been rivals, and we will fight at the slightest disagreement. After all, he has always been better than me. Even the person I like has fallen in love with him. Don't you think we are sworn enemies? Love rivals. These two words popped up in Etienne's mind. The two of them had this kind of identity. This is a sworn enemy. Etienne smiled awkwardly. He did not know how to answer. Although we are sworn enemies, aren't we also the best of friends? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor was a little nostalgic for the past, but he quickly recovered from his memories and looked at him with a smile. As his successor, you were obviously chosen by him. I don't know why he chose you, but I think you must have had an outstanding side. If that's the case, the five-colored Emperor Dragon Lord Etienne wanted to say something but stopped. Dead, he died without us. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor sighed. Such a good opponent, but he died just like that. It was all because he was too stubborn. After everything was over, he also fell. Etienne's eyes narrowed. He remembered the legendary battle and asked, did he die in the battle against the Giant Beast clan? The Giant Beast clan? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor laughed coldly and shook his head. The Giant Beast clan is nothing. They are just a small fry. The real big fish is not in the Giant Beast clan. Not the Giant Beast clan. Etienne's eyes narrowed. But the legends outside are all like this, including the guardian who followed the five-colored Emperor Dragon. The Giant Beast clan is very strong, but compared to that behemoth, they are still a notch below. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor shook his head. Forget it. With your current level of cultivation, it is better not to know for now. The legends outside are indeed credible. He did fight with the Giant Beast clan, but the real cause of his death was not at the hands of the Giant Beast clan. You only need to understand this. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor revealed shocking news that stunned Etienne. Chapter 2248. Etienne could not wrap his head around it. Through various records and memories, he learned that the battle back then was quite tragic, with countless deaths and injuries. Of course, it was not confirmed that the five-colored Emperor Dragon had died at the hands of the Giant Beast clan. At most, it had been seriously injured. He did not expect that the real cause of its death was at the hands of other strong cultivators. If there are stronger existences, doesn't that mean this place is not safe? Etienne was a little worried that someone would come to kill him. His family was all here. You can say it's safe, but you can also say it's not safe. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor smiled slightly, not too worried. Everything is under our control. When your level of cultivation reaches a certain level one day, you will know the real situation. If you know too much now, you will only feel too much pressure, and you won't be able to resist it. When that time comes, it will be detrimental to your cultivation. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor was not joking. If the pressure was too great, and he kept thinking about breaking through crazily, it would be extremely troublesome if he fell into a vicious cycle. Sometimes it was not better to be under great pressure, but when the distance was too far, it was better not to know for the time being. Suddenly the target would be very far away, and it would be very difficult to move forward. As the heir of the five-colored Emperor Dragon, I should at least know what level of cultivation I have to reach in order to know this information, right? Etienne looked at him with a burning gaze. He wanted to know what level of cultivation he had to reach in order to know about such things. He did not need to know the details. He only needed to reach a certain level of cultivation to be able to protect his own people. After looking at him for a moment, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor shook his head and smiled. You're too similar. No wonder you're the heir of the five-colored Emperor Dragon. Your temperament is exactly the same as his, eager to know that goal. There's no harm in telling you. In terms of cultivation, it's at least at the level of Heavenly Star Supremacy. That is, after you break through to Divine Star Supremacy, the next level you break through to is Heavenly Star Supremacy, a level stronger than Divine Star Supremacy. Etienne's eyes narrowed. As expected, it was extremely difficult. It was already extremely difficult to break through to Divine Star Supremacy, let alone Heavenly Star Supremacy. That's right. Once you've broken through to that level of cultivation, you don't even need to understand it. Someone will come and help you. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor looked at him with burning eyes and said, as the heir of the five-colored Emperor Dragon. We sensed it the moment you became a five-colored Emperor Dragon. It's just that we didn't interfere and let you do whatever you want. Even if you die on the way, it has nothing to do with us. Only when your cultivation reaches the heavenly star supremacy level will we send someone to receive you and know the entire truth. This. Yi Tianyan was stunned. That's too casual. If I die, won't I have to start all over again? Yes. To tell you the truth, you weren't the only one to obtain the five-colored monarch dragon's successor. The last one died on the way. This area is just the tip of the iceberg. The purple cloud star emperor shook his head. That's why we didn't interfere too much. If you really want to shoulder the heavy responsibility, you must go through training and climb to this position. Only then can you become our real help. If you die on the way, then I'm very sorry. We'll wait for the next heir of the five-colored monarch dragon. Yi Tianyan's pupils shrank. He didn't expect such a thing to happen. Thinking about it carefully, it was more or less the same. A unique starry dharma was a unique existence, but once it died, this position would be vacated and continued to be taken by other cultivators. If it was constantly protected, it would be like a flower in a greenhouse without any combat power. Anyway, if it died, they would at most have to wait a little longer. Time was no longer a problem for them. This is how the world should be. Just because you can't, doesn't mean others can't. We've been waiting for the one who can truly possess the five-colored monarch dragon starry dharma to appear, not a weakling. The purple cloud star emperor's words were very cruel. Obtaining this unique starry dharma did not mean that one was absolutely invincible, nor did it mean that one's talent was unique. It only meant that one was qualified to enter their circle. However, if one's level of practice was not up to par, then they would never know. After they died, the next heir would continue to climb up the ladder. What if I don't want to join you after my level of practice is up to par? Yi Tianyan asked. Death. The purple cloud star emperor's expression was indifferent. There's no second choice. Isn't that forcing it? Yi Tianyan's face darkened. Yes, it's forcing it. Of course, I think you will agree to it, not because of anything else, but because the successor chosen by the five-colored Emperor Dragon will definitely have a similar personality as him, wanting to protect something and protect something. Otherwise, why would he choose you? The purple cloud star emperor stared at him as if trying to see through him. What do you think? Is there something around you that you want to protect? This there is. Yi Tianyan had to admit it and nodded. It was likely that the five-colored monarch dragon starry dharma would only choose him after he had passed the test. I knew it. This fellow would definitely choose an heir with a similar personality. There's no doubt about it. The purple cloud star emperor shrugged helplessly. In the past, we paid a little attention to some of the heirs. Their personalities are similar, all wanting to protect something. However, their level of practice is not high enough, and their strength is insufficient, so they die along the way. If you want to protect something, you need great power. Do you think you can do it? The purple cloud star emperor stared at him, wanting to pierce through him. I have to do it. Yi Tianyan nodded heavily. Others might not be able to do it, but he had to. You're ambitious. The purple cloud star emperor laughed. I've said too much. You're the first to know so much, and you also know the target's level of practice. I've revealed too much. Forget it. Since you're here, I'll give you an opportunity. Whether you can get it or not will depend on your ability. To be honest, I really didn't expect that an heir of the five-colored monarch dragon would enter my purple gold divinity pavilion. This place is so remote, but it gave birth to an heir of the five-colored monarch dragon. It's really strange. The purple cloud star emperor shook his head. He could not understand this either. Opportunity? Yi Tianyan's eyes lit up. I wonder what kind of opportunity it is. You'll find out later. I'll definitely help you, but whether you can get it or not will depend on your ability. The purple cloud star emperor said with a smile. What was the original purpose of this purple gold divinity pavilion? Yi Tianyan was a little curious. It's very simple. It's to select the strongest cultivators and then train them to fight against the giant beast clan. I believe you've already seen this. As long as you're not a fool, you should know why you killed so many of the Giant Beast clan, right? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor said very straightforwardly. A long time ago, we wanted to train them to fight against the Giant Beast clan, but they're useless now. Chapter 2249. So, you're saying it's an outdated divine temple? Yi Tianyan found it ridiculous. A group of people were desperately trying to squeeze inside, but in reality, it was just an abandoned divine temple. A group of star venerables were still scrambling for it, but it was just a divine temple that the Purple Cloud Star Emperor had abandoned. You could say that, but it can still nurture some strong fighters, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor said with a faint smile. No, I think it's still very useful. Now that the giant beasts have made a comeback, they're even evolving themselves to become more powerful. They're even taking the form of cultivators and blending in with other cultivators. Usually, it's impossible to detect them, Yi Tianyan explained. There's such a thing? A look of surprise flashed in the Purple Cloud Star Emperor's eyes. Few things could surprise him, but this one really did. Yes, there are two people dealing with the guards now. They're the giant beasts. Yi Tianyan said seriously. Senior, you can check to see if it's true. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor nodded and waved his hand in the air. Images of the 4 rooms appeared. Everyone was fighting with great difficulty. The guards they were fighting had the same level of cultivation as them. The guards were as strong as their cultivation. More importantly, the guards had all kinds of moves, and it was difficult to deal with them, especially since they were all holding star venerable level treasures. It was not easy to deal with them. It seemed that the difficulty of the last stage was really high. They had to deal with all the guards to get in. It's true. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor's eyes immediately locked on the 2 giant beasts. You can't tell on the surface, but you can tell from the aura when they explode. I didn't expect that I built the Purple Gold Divine Pavilion to deal with the giant beasts. Now the giant beasts have sneaked in. How ironic. The Purple Gold Divine Pavilion would definitely not let the giant beasts in. As long as the giant beasts got close, they would be killed. However, after the giant beasts had evolved and become cultivators, the Purple Gold Divine Pavilion did not recognize them. Then, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor waved his hand and grabbed the 2 giant beasts. Since he knew they were not cultivators, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor would not be polite to them. The 2 of you are quite bold. You dare to barge into my Violet Gold Divine Pavilion, as members of the Giant Beast clan? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor grabbed the 2 of them, and gently twisted his hand. The energy in their bodies was completely suppressed, and they could no longer resist. The 2 giant beasts knelt on the ground, their foreheads dripping with cold sweat. They did not expect such a situation to occur. Sir, I don't understand what you mean. One of them lied. Stop quibbling. Do you really think that I can't detect the aura that you are emitting? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor snorted coldly. Just a little bit of it, and I'll be able to sense it immediately. All right, all of you can go to hell. Just as the Purple Cloud Star Emperor was about to slap them, Yi Tianyan hurriedly stepped forward and said, Senior, leave one of them to me. Oh. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor stopped and nodded. I don't know what you want to do, but I'll leave these 2 to you. You can do whatever you want with them. However, the result must be death. There was a murderous look in the Purple Cloud Star Emperor's eyes. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor was full of hatred for the Giant Beast clan. As long as he saw the Giant Beast clan, no matter who it was, he would kill them. Yi Tianyan nodded. I know how to do that. Yi Tianyan asked the Purple Cloud Star Emperor to spare their lives because he wanted to search their memories, so that he could find out what their real plan was. Immediately, Yi Tianyan came in front of them, and without saying a word he reached out and grabbed their heads, beginning to search their souls. A moment later, Yi Tianyan's eyes lit up, and at the same time he crushed their souls, getting rid of them once and for all. It seems that the plan hasn't changed. They still don't know what the real purpose of this place is. Yi Tianyan shook his head. He thought that there would be some useful information, but who knew that it would be the same as the giant beasts they had dealt with before? And the information they knew was very limited. When he looked at the Purple Cloud Star Emperor, The Purple Cloud Star Emperor looked at the corpse in silence, and no one knew what he was thinking. You're saying that the Giant Beast clan has made a comeback? What's the situation now? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor was still a wisp of divine consciousness, so he had no way of knowing what was going on outside. Naturally, he did not know the current situation of the Giant Beast clan. Immediately, Tianyan told him the details of the Giant Beast clan's situation, including how they wanted to capture the Death Clan and open the door of death to harvest all the powerhouses of the entire Crimson Moon Star. So there's such a thing. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor's expression became more and more serious. He did not expect to encounter such a situation. After such a long time, the Giant Beast clan had undergone such a huge change. This was something he did not expect. That's right, Senior. Now that they have infiltrated this place, they want to take control of the Purple Gold Divine Pavilion and slaughter all of us cultivators, Tianyan said with a serious expression. Haha, they want to take control of the Purple Gold Divine Pavilion? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor laughed. When I first set up this place, it was impossible for anyone to take control of it. Unless they have a very strong cultivation base, they can break it by force. Otherwise, they won't be able to take control of this place. If they want to take control of this place, even a Divine Star Venerable won't be able to do so. They have to be at least a Heavenly Star Supreme Venerable. However, since they have come, let's treat them well. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor laughed coldly. A domineering aura surged from this wisp of divine consciousness. Although it was not as strong as his body, it was still shocking. Immediately, his gaze shifted to the side, as if he had begun to investigate the Giant Beast clan in the entire Purple Gold Divine Pavilion. After a while he smiled and said, "Not bad, so many Giant Beast clan have invaded this place. Let me deal with them all at once." After saying that, he stretched out his hand and flicked his fingers. Immediately, dozens of cultivators appeared in the void. Tianyan took a closer look and found that they were all from the Giant Beast clan. There was no mistake. As expected of the Purple Cloud Star Emperor. In terms of investigation, he could still see through the Giant Beast clan's concealment. What's going on? When a group of Giant Beast clan was captured, they writhed and struggled frantically, but found that they could not struggle at all. They were all Grand Star Venerables, but they did not even have the ability to resist here. I wonder if any of you know who I am? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor looked at them coldly. When this group of Giant Beast clan looked over and found that it was a Divine Star Venerable powerhouse, their expressions changed. They hurriedly said, "Senior, we don't know what we did wrong. We all came in according to the rules. It seems that your ancestors didn't tell us about what happened in the past?" The Purple Cloud Star Emperor laughed, but the friendliness disappeared and was replaced by a cold smile. "Back then, I don't even know how many trillions of Giant Beast clan I killed. But you didn't record my appearance. How ridiculous." Chapter 2250. Tianyan did not know about the Purple Cloud Star Emperor's situation, but from what he had said, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor must have been the vanguard and killed countless giant beasts. However, none of the giant beasts knew what the Purple Cloud Star Emperor looked like, which was strange. This was similar to the five-colored Emperor Dragon. The giant beasts hated the five-colored Emperor Dragon, and they clearly knew that the five-colored Emperor Dragon was their mortal enemy. The fact that so many Guardian Divine Generals had been controlled was the best proof of this. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor was such a big target, but they did not know about him. This was very strange. Thinking back to the contents of the Soul Search, they could not find any memory of the Purple Cloud Star Emperor. It was as if everything had been erased. Who are you?" The leader of the giant beasts, who was a late-stage Star Venerable, stared at the Purple Cloud Star Emperor. They really did not know who he was. "That's true. I was too low-key and hid my identity, so well that even your ancestors did not know my true identity, right?" The Purple Cloud Star Emperor smiled. "Of course, they might have thought that I was dead, and they were indeed seriously injured." His smile became colder and colder, causing the giant beasts to tremble. They already knew what their fate was. Since the Purple Cloud Star Emperor had said so, it meant that he had a great hatred for the giant beasts. How could he let them go? If you want to kill us, then kill us. We will never beg for mercy. They knew that they could not escape, so they did not beg for mercy. Don't worry, even if you beg for mercy, I won't let you go. Just as the Purple Cloud Star Emperor was about to attack, Etienne suddenly stood up and said, Senior, leave them to me. Etienne's eyes were full of surprise. There were so many giant beasts here, and if he killed them all, he could earn a lot of star energy. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor would not gain any star energy from killing them, so leaving them to him was undoubtedly the best thing to do. Oh, it seems that you have quite a lot of resentment towards them. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor's attitude towards Etienne was more relaxed. Yes, quite a lot. Etienne nodded repeatedly. In reality, there wasn't much of a grudge. It could only be considered an average grudge. He just wanted to earn more star energy, so he couldn't waste it. All right, I'll leave them to you. With a wave of his hand, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor sealed their powers, rendering them unable to move. With his ability, it would be very easy for him to seal them. Thank you, Senior. Etienne walked towards them step by step. The thunder saber in his hand flickered with lightning. A cold smile hung on the corner of his mouth, sending chills down their spines. Even if we can't control the Violet Gold Divine Pavilion, you guys won't be able to escape. The colossal beast race roared. They wouldn't give up on struggling. Don't worry, we won't escape. We'll kill our way out. As soon as Etienne's voice fell, the thunder-long blade in his hand slashed down rapidly. It was a frenzied slaughter, showing no mercy at all. Showing mercy to them was tantamount to seeking death. They wouldn't be moved by Etienne's mercy. Soon, this group of colossal beasts had been completely slaughtered by him. He had obtained a large pile of star energy and many treasures, which made him feel very satisfied. He hadn't expected that his harvest this time would be so good. Even if he hadn't obtained any star-level treasures, it was worth it to earn so many star energy points. Thank you, Senior. Etienne said gratefully. You're welcome. You've done justice for the heavens by killing them. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor said in a low voice. Speaking of which, judging from what they've said, they must have set up many great formations outside. With the little bit of divine will I left behind, I won't be able to control the situation outside. It'll be fine if they barge in, but if they don't, I won't be able to help you guys. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor's original intention in leaving behind the Violet Gold Divine Pavilion was to select strong fighters to deal with the colossal beast race. It wasn't a mobile fort. Therefore, there weren't any great offensive formations outside. At most, it could only be used as a defensive fortress, not an offensive one. It doesn't matter. Let us handle this ourselves. Etienne's eyes shone as he said, This is our land. Let us guard it. All right, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor said with a smile. But you don't have to worry too much. After the group of people goes through the trial, they'll have more experience in dealing with the colossal beast race. When they get to this stage, they'll have a lot of improvements. When the time comes, it'll be easier to fight. However, I'll give you some special privileges. There are many star-level treasures here, and you'll be in charge of distributing them. With these star-level treasures as our combat power, it'll be a little easier to deal with the colossal beast race. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor said with a smile. Usually, you can't take away the treasures here until the end of the battle. The star-level treasures that the Purple Cloud Star Emperor mentioned were naturally the hundreds of star-level treasures that he had seen when he entered. If he didn't defeat the 4 guards, he would have to return the treasures later. Now that they were all in Etienne's hands, it was equivalent to him suddenly owning hundreds of star-level treasures. He was really rich. If the other families knew about this, they would go crazy. They had worked so hard to get even one treasure, but now Etienne could easily get all the star-level treasures. Thank you, Senior. Etienne was extremely excited. With so many treasures, the combat power of his forces would definitely be greatly improved. You're welcome. I can't support you here. No one expected the colossal beast race to change like this. I'll leave it to you to eliminate them. Can you do it? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor said sternly, staring at him. Yes. Yi Tianyan said in a low voice. If we don't eliminate them, they'll harm this area. Our families and friends are all here, and we'll never allow them to do that. Haha, it's the same. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor said with a smile. Well, while they're still going through the trial, I'll give you a big opportunity first. Whether you can get it or not depends on your ability. Now, are you ready? I'm ready. Yi Tianyan's eyes flashed. He had been ready for a long time. Well, go. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor waved his hand and sent Yi Tianyan away. Only Tian Xinghuan was left in the main hall. Tian Xinghuan was still immersed in her breakthrough, and the Purple Cloud Star Emperor had specially set up a shield for her to prevent her from being affected. He glanced at Tian Xinghuan and didn't pay much attention to her. The inheritor of the five-color Emperor Dragon. I hope this time she won't let us down again. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor sighed deeply. There's not much time left. Chapter 2251. In a trance, Yi Tianyan felt like he was in a special environment. A spirit mountain appeared in front of him, with countless spirit herbs planted on it. He looked up and found the honorable breaker flower on it. This was an extremely rare divine herb, and it had actually appeared here. This made his heart skip a beat, and he quickly looked around, trying to find another kind of star god grass, which was also an extremely rare divine herb. After looking around, he sighed and said, I can't find it. It seems like this thing doesn't even exist here. There was no star god grass in this spirit mountain, only the honorable breaker flower. Although it was a pity, at least he could find one of them. When the time came, he only needed to find the other one, and he would be able to break through to the 5th level of the Star Dharma. When the time came, he would meet the basic requirements to break through to the Divine Star Venerable rank. All he had to do was accumulate enough star energy points, and he would be able to break through to the Divine Star Venerable rank in one go. A Divine Star Venerable rank would definitely be able to look down on everyone on Crimson Moon Planet, and no forces would dare to resist. However, there was still a long way to go to break through to the Divine Star Venerable rank. If he had not been talking to the Purple Cloud Star Emperor, he would not have thought so much. Now he was thinking about how to break through to the Heavenly Star Venerable rank. That was the real threshold. I'll collect this divine herb first. No wonder the Purple Cloud Star Emperor said it would be effective for me. He really saw my needs in this area. It's a pity there's only one. If there were two, it would be even more perfect. With 2 divine herbs, he would be able to break through to the 5th level of the Star Dharma. When the time came, he would go on a killing spree outside, earn enough star energy points, and immediately break through to the Divine Star Venerable rank. He shook his head, not feeling too depressed. He was already very lucky to be able to obtain one of the divine herbs so quickly. If it had been anyone else, they would not have had the opportunity to enter. According to the Purple Cloud Star Emperor, it was just to nurture some powerhouses to deal with the giant beast race. He would give them a Star Venerable level treasure, or at most, a few other decent treasures. If he wanted to take it out, he would probably have to swear an oath. Otherwise, it would be a great loss if he let it run away. This kind of oath was usually used to deal with the giant beast race. Yi Tianyan did not need to swear an oath. He would do it anyway, so there was no need to swear an oath. Some cultivators had no choice but to forcefully use oaths to restrict themselves. Just as he was about to fly over to retrieve the broken formless flower, he suddenly realized that he couldn't fly at all. He was completely restricted below. Is this a flight ban? Yi Tianyan narrowed his eyes and felt that things were not that simple. Previously, the Star Emperor of Xian had said that if he wanted to obtain this great opportunity, he would have to rely on his own abilities. This meant that there was definitely some difficulty involved. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said such words and directly sent the treasure to Yi Tianyan. He raised his head and looked at the spirit mountain. He could vaguely sense an unusual energy fluctuation emanating from it. He didn't think that it would be so easy for him to pluck the broken venerate flower. The broken honor flower was planted at the highest level of the spiritual mountain, which made it even more precious. Whatever, let's go in and take a look. Yi Tianyan lifted his foot and walked inside. Just as he was halfway up the mountain, he was repelled by a wave of energy, causing him to take a few steps back. Soon after, a figure flew out from inside. It wasn't the Star Emperor of Ziyun, but an old man. The old man was full of dignity. He looked at Yi Futian and said sternly, "Cultivator, if you want to pluck the spiritual herbs here, you must pass the trial to be able to pluck the spiritual herbs in the corresponding area." After saying that, the old man waved his hand and the entire spirit mountain was divided into 10 levels. In each level, there was an additional puppet. The auras of the puppets were all different. The higher the level, the stronger the aura of the puppets. They didn't seem simple at all. Yi Tianyun's eyes narrowed. The puppets on the first level were all late-stage Star Venerate cultivators. The puppets on the second level were all late-stage Star Venerate cultivators, and so on. The puppets on the 10th level were not Divine Star Venerate cultivators, but late-stage Star Venerate cultivators. However, this late-stage Star Venerate cultivator seemed to be very unusual. Yi Futian would only know what was going on when he fought with it. Those who succeed in the challenge can pluck any spiritual herb they want. Each level can only pluck one spiritual herb. The old man explained the rules. Yi Tianyun had a general idea of what was going on. This was also provided to the cultivators. However, they had to fulfill certain strict conditions before they could enter the Spirit Mountain to challenge and obtain the precious spiritual herbs. In this 10th level, apart from the Venerate Breaker Flower, there were other precious spiritual herbs for cultivation. However, for Yi Tianyun, the Venerate Breaker Flower was more important. The rest of the spiritual herbs are not bad. Yi Tianyun glanced at the spiritual herbs on the other levels and felt that they were all not bad. There were some that were suitable for others, so he wouldn't waste them. Let's try the other levels first. I wonder what moves these puppets have. He then chose the 7th level. The 7th level had decent spiritual herbs, so he could choose from it. I choose the 7th level, Yi Tianyun said. Okay, the 7th level. The old man waved his hand, and Yi Tianyun was transferred to the arena on the 7th level. The loser will lose all chances and be moved out of the Spirit Mountain. The winner can continue the trial until he fails. Yi Tianyun was stunned. So that was what was going on. They were giving him 10 chances. However, to make use of all 10 chances, he had to defeat all of them. If he failed even once, he would have to leave this place. Oh, I thought you would choose the 10th level. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor's voice suddenly came from the side. Senior, I want to try it out first. Yi Tianyun was not surprised by the Purple Cloud Star Emperor's appearance. This place was definitely within the Purple Cloud Star Emperor's observation range. The puppets on the 7th level were not weak either. They were all late-stage Star Venerates. Starting from the 7th level, they were all late-stage Star Venerates. Although their cultivation was similar, it didn't mean that their strength was the same. It's good to try it out first. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor smiled. Originally, it was impossible for there to be a broken master flower on the 10th level. I specially placed a broken master flower on the 10th level. If you want to become a Divine Star Venerate, the level of your Star Dharma idol has to reach the standard. This is the opportunity I'm giving you. Senior, why don't you put the Star Divine Herb on the 10th level as well? Yi Tianyun smiled. It would be a happy thing to be able to put both on the 10th level. There is no Star Divine Herb in the Violet Gold Divinity Pavilion. I can't do anything about it. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor was a little helpless. If you were training in the other Violet Gold Divinity Pavilions, there would be some, but there is none here. This place is a little more remote, and the resources are more limited. Chapter 2252. There was naturally more than one Purple Gold Divine Pavilion. In order to deal with the Giant Beast clan, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor had placed Purple Gold Divine Pavilions in many areas, so that more strong fighters could pass the trial, and then deal with the Giant Beast clan. This was the simplest method. Not only could they gather some strong fighters, but they could also save a lot of time. This kind of targeted trial would undoubtedly increase the effect to the maximum. But for now, it was not very practical. The Giant Beast clan was gradually evolving, and when they were all cultivators, this kind of fighting method would not be suitable. This place was originally meant to teach them how to deal with the Giant Beast clan, to find the Giant Beast clan's weakness, and then hit it hard. Now that they had all become cultivators, it was impossible to find any weaknesses. Not only were their bodies strong, but they also knew their martial arts techniques. This was the most troublesome part. Therefore, out of all the purple gold divine pavilions, this one was the more miserable one, and the resources were more limited. Tianyan could not help but imagine what level the purple gold divine pavilions with amazing resources would be like. It must be known that this purple gold divine pavilion had already made everyone crazy. There were so many star venerable level treasures, as well as countless other spiritual herbs. This was already quite rich. But the Purple Cloud Star Emperor said that the treasures here were relatively few, which made him sigh. The other purple gold divine pavilions probably had better treatment. I see. Tianyan smiled bitterly. Otherwise he would not have needed to look for the star god herb, and he could have directly broken through here. Yes, but the broken Zune flower is also not bad. You can spend a little effort to find the remaining one. It shouldn't be too difficult. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor said it wouldn't be too difficult for Tianyan. The Ziyun Star Emperor was a legendary figure. To him, there was nothing difficult about it. Very well, I'm already satisfied that I got the broken Zune flower. Tianyan did not ask for much. Anyway, it was good enough to get one. Then he turned his gaze to the puppet in front of him and said to the elder, "You may begin." They could have started long ago. If the Purple Cloud Star Emperor had not come out, they would have started fighting. Then let the competition begin. At the elder's command, the puppet moved quickly. In the next second, the puppet's power burst forth. It turned into an afterimage, and like a bolt of black lightning, it pierced through the air. This puppet was in the form of an ordinary cultivator. There was nothing special about it. However, it was precisely this form that was the most difficult to deal with. After he used his full power, he vaguely sensed that the energy fluctuations were stronger than most late-stage Grand Star Venerables. It did not have any star materialization, nor did it use any star power, but its power was far greater than that of a late-stage Star Venerable. In the end, it was because the materials used to make it were excellent. They were purely made of the materials used to make star-level treasures. In terms of treasures, it was at least a middle-grade Star Venerable treasure. It was more powerful than most medium-grade Star Venerable grade treasures. After all, it was built purely with the materials used to build Star Venerable level treasures, and it was mixed with some other special materials to make it more powerful. Under its feet, there were also densely packed star runes that continuously strengthened the puppet's power. Good timing. Tianyan was not careless at all. A thunder-long saber appeared in his hand quickly. He could not relax when dealing with such a puppet, so he exerted his strongest move right away. Open! The thunder power absorbed in his body gushed out and poured into the thunder-long saber. The thunder-long saber lit up immediately. A domineering thunder dragon pattern appeared on the thunder-long saber. Dense electric arcs were released from the thunder-long saber, and the surrounding air was filled with a burning smell. If he had not absorbed the thunder power, he would not have been able to exert the thunder-long saber's power. Even then, he could not exert his full power. Only with the thunder power in his body could he exert its full power. It would be great if he could exert more than half of the thunder-long saber's power. Although he had only exerted half of the thunder-long saber's power, it was not weak at all. The puppet did not feel any danger facing such a powerful attack. It did not even try to dodge. It only fought against Tianyan head-on. It did not feel any fear, nor did it feel any pain. As a result, it was quite terrifying when they fought against each other. They did not know how to dodge at all. They just wanted to see who was tougher. Boom! The two of them collided head-on. The two figures were sent flying back quickly. The distance they flew back was almost the same. It could be seen how powerful the puppet was. It's really tough. Tianyan felt numb between his thumb and index finger. It was a Star Venerable level treasure indeed. It was dreadful for it to charge at him head-on. Especially this treasure, which had a cultivation level. It would not be easy to deal with it. Buzz. There were only faint marks on the puppet's body. It did not feel any pain at all. It continued to charge at Yi Tianyun without any pause. This was the ferocity of a puppet. As long as it wasn't completely destroyed, it would continue to attack until either its opponent died or it died. It's so powerful at this level. Won't the one on the 10th level be even more powerful? Yi Tianyun squinted. He did not want to waste any more time. A unique star divine figure appeared behind him. The power of the 7-colored king dragon gushed out. The star power above his head shrouded the puppet. His star power reached the level of 55 instantly. Chaotic thunder strike. Yi Tianyun brandished the thunder long blade in his hand and slashed down on the puppet that was rushing towards him. The domineering thunder light was like a giant blade that could split the sky and earth, shrouding the puppet that was rushing towards him. The puppet did not even try to dodge. It just stood there like a fool. That made Yi Tianyun feel more relaxed. He did not have to spend so much energy on it. Boom. It was as if divine lightning had struck the ground, causing a deafening boom to ring out. In the end, a huge crater appeared on the ground. At the same time, the puppet seemed to have been assimilated, lying limply on the ground, not moving in the slightest. Its limbs had long since fallen apart, leaving behind only its torso. Its torso had been cut in half by Yi Tianyun's knife strike. Even a star venerable level treasure would be split open by this domineering power. Moreover, he had a star venerable level treasure, and he could still kill his opponent if they clashed. Congratulations on passing the 7th level. You can pick any spiritual herb on the 7th level at will, the old man said calmly, without any emotion. Yi Tianyun nodded. He did not feel anything special about it. If he could not deal with these small puppets, he would not be able to pass the 10th level. Chapter 2253. Yi Tianyun chose a rising dragon flower on the 7th floor, which would be of great help to him when he broke through to the Grand Star Venerable Realm. He planned to give this spirit herb to Shueyun as the best supplementary herb when she broke through to the Grand Star Venerable Realm in the future. Do you want to continue? The old man spoke to Yi Tianyun in his emotionless voice. Continue to the 10th floor. Yi Tianyun did not challenge the 9th floor or the 8th floor. He went straight to the 10th floor. He had a general sense of the difficulty, but it was not a problem for him. If he could not even deal with this, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor would be disappointed, and he would not be qualified to participate. The eyes of the Purple Cloud Star Emperor, who was watching from the side, flickered with anticipation. The difficulty of the 10th floor was almost equivalent to facing a half-step Divine Star Venerable, so one could imagine how difficult it was. However, no matter how difficult it was, the fact that the Purple Cloud Star Emperor had set it up here meant that someone could win this round. It was not a Divine Star Venerable, but a Grand Star Venerable who could win this round. If a Divine Star Venerable won this round, it would be meaningless. The Lord Breaker Flower was only effective against Grand Star Venerables, and had no effect on Divine Star Venerables at all. However, in terms of effect, it was still slightly effective. It was just a slight increase in cultivation. With the old man's teleportation, Yi Tianyun was quickly transferred to the 10th floor's competition platform. The puppet appeared in front of him at the same time. The puppet had not changed much. It was still in the state of a cultivator, and looked like a young man. Upon closer inspection, it seemed to bear some resemblance to the Purple Cloud Star Emperor. This was probably made in the likeness of the Purple Cloud Star Emperor. There were dense star patterns all over his body, and through these star patterns, the formation beneath his feet could continuously channel astral power into it, filling it to the brim with power. Without power to sustain it, this puppet had no combat power at all. Even if Yi Tianyun ran out of this array, the puppet would not dare to rush out. Once it did, it would either be unable to move or its power would be greatly reduced. This was the fatal weakness of the puppet. Everything depended on the array to increase its power. However, it wasn't a problem for him to be used as a trial target here. Correspondingly, if Yi Tianyun was an advanced Astral Rune Master, he would be able to obtain victory easily as long as he broke the array beneath his feet. In reality, it was extremely difficult. The grade of the Great Formation beneath his feet was too high. With his current level, it was impossible for him to break it. If he could break it, he definitely wouldn't be polite. Looking at the way to solve it, this method was the most convenient. An astral tattoo master. It looks like I'll have to focus on improving my cultivation once I have more star energy. Tianyin sighed. The more complex a palace was, the more difficult it would be to deal with the star patterns. If one's rank was relatively high, it would be very easy to deal with the star patterns. It could be said that compared to the other two professions, Astral Rune Master had a higher utilization rate. Buzz. With a wave of the puppet's hand, a high-grade star venerable treasure suddenly appeared. A powerful fluctuation came from the weapon. It was not an attack, but the space around it distorted slightly, as if it was about to be torn apart. The puppet's hollow eyes were fixed on Tianyin. It was ready to rush over and fight him to the death at any moment. Its terrifying fighting spirit burst forth. It was obviously a puppet, but it had the same fighting spirit as a cultivator. The most terrifying thing was that it could actually cast the star Dharma power. Moreover, it was a grade 6 star Dharma power. A giant black tortoise appeared behind it. A majestic aura gushed out, forming a thick layer of armor that covered the puppet's body. 9-shelled black tortoise. Tianyin's eyes narrowed. He hadn't expected that puppets could also use the star Dharma power. He had only heard that clones could use the star Dharma power, but he hadn't expected that puppets could also use it. Wasn't this heaven-defying? It had to be said that the difficulty of the 10th level was quite high. I created this through special means. It was quite difficult to create. I only made a dozen of them, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor said. He was very satisfied with his puppet. It's a pity that it's still lacking something. Otherwise, I could have made a puppet with a higher cultivation and a more perfect fusion. Senior, isn't this a little too difficult? Although Tianyin wasn't afraid of this puppet, after the puppet's attack, he felt that it was no longer an ordinary late-stage Star Venerable. It was almost on par with a divine Star Venerable. The puppet itself was already heaven-defying, and it was a top-grade Star Venerable treasure. It was holding a top-grade Star Venerable treasure in its hand, and it even had a grade 6 Star Dharma power. There was a formation under its feet. How could he possibly win? Ahem, this is a little difficult, so the rule of the 10th level is naturally not to defeat the puppet, but to last as long as you can, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor said with a smile. So don't be nervous. It's a little difficult, but it's still acceptable. If it were any other cultivator, they would only need to last for 15 minutes to pass. As for you, you have to last for at least 15 minutes. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor suddenly raised the standard by 3 times. It was simply terrible. This? Tianyin looked at the puppet. It's been holding on for 3 incense sticks of time. It doesn't sound like a long time, but the real situation is definitely terrifying. Otherwise, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor wouldn't have set the rule at 15 minutes. Of course, this 1 incense stick of time was for other cultivators. For him, it was 3 incense sticks of time. No problem, 15 minutes it is. Tianyin smiled. He had only felt that it was a little difficult, not that he couldn't defeat it. He knew why his standard had been raised. It was because he was the successor of the 5-colored Emperor Dragon. Otherwise, the standard would not have been raised by 3 times. All right, let the competition officially begin. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor gave the order on behalf of the old man. Originally, he didn't need to come personally, but he saw that Tianyin had come to the trial, so he came over to take a look. As soon as he gave the order, the puppet seemed to have a soul. Its eyes emitted a cold light, and it directly charged towards Tianyin. With the momentum of a thunderbolt, it attacked Tianyin crazily. It could be said that from the beginning, its power had been raised to the highest level. If one was not careful, they would be killed instantly. Boom. Tianyin was also prepared. The power of the 7-colored Emperor Dragon surged wildly, and the astral power above flowed out. All the Dharma powers of the stars were added to his body, and they collided head-on with the puppet, triggering a violent explosion. The entire arena shook from the explosion. Even the entire Spirit Mountain felt a little shaken, as if it was about to collapse at any time. Amazing! After colliding head-on with the puppet, Tianyin quickly bounced back. He felt that the palm that was holding the thunder saber was a little cracked. This guy was really too hard. Chapter 2254. The terrifying puppet kept attacking Yi Tianyan without any pause. Even if Yi Tianyan hit the puppet, it's just a slight shake, leaving only a faint mark on the puppet's hard body. This was a superior star venerable treasure, so it was terrifyingly hard. The most terrifying thing was that it had the support of the 9-shelled black tortoise, which increased its defense to a whole new level. No wonder it was said that one only needed to hold on. How could one defeat such a terrifying defense without the power of a divine star venerable? Moreover, its combat power was endless. No matter what kind of ultimate move it used, it would never be exhausted. When ordinary cultivators use some unique skills, they would run out of energy for a certain period of time. They would only be able to use it again after a little rest. But this puppet did not have such a thing. It went all out, attacking crazily all the way. Not to mention the time it took for one stick of incense to burn. Many star venerables in the late stage would not be able to hold on for even half an incense stick of incense. Given the puppet's situation, it would be able to attack hundreds of times in half an incense stick of incense. Who could withstand the attack of such a violent puppet for more than half an incense stick of incense? Especially when the puppet was holding a superior star venerable treasure. How could one fight it? The treasure in Yi Tianyan's hand was only a medium star venerable treasure. After withstanding several moves in a row, the thunder-long knife had many cuts on it, but the big knife in the puppet's hand was not damaged at all. This was the difference in grade. With such a huge gap between the two, ordinary cultivators could just surrender. How could they continue fighting? Not to mention the other cultivators, even Yi Tianyan felt that it was a bit difficult to resist. The puppet's attacks swept over like a storm. It did not seem to be tired at all. Seeing this, the purple cloud star emperor squinted. He did not know how much Yi Tianyan could resist in the end. Could he really hold on for 1.5 an incense stick of time? It looks like he won't be able to hold on for 1.5 an incense stick of time. The purple cloud star emperor sighed when he saw Yi Tianyan retreating. If this went on, Yi Tianyan would not be able to hold on. Under such circumstances, he would not be able to hold on for too long. If he did not put up any resistance, he would not be able to hold on for too long. Unless Yi Tianyan could dodge it, the puppet would not give him the chance to do so. She pressed closely against Yi Tianyan, not letting him leave her side. This feeling was like gangrene attached to the bone, sticking to his body and not letting him leave. Just when the purple cloud star emperor could no longer bear to watch, a loud roar came from below. Get lost! Accompanied by the roar of a dragon, a terrifying beam of light rushed out and forced the puppet to retreat a large distance. The purple cloud star emperor's eyes lit up. He did not expect Yi Tianyan to be able to fight back. It's not bad, but it's not enough, Yi Tianyan said coldly. Don't think that you're invincible just because you're a little harder. No matter how hard it is, it can still blow you up. In the next moment, Yi Tianyan circulated the power in his body. The power of the 7-colored imperial dragon behind him quickly merged into his body and became one. Such a perfect compatibility allowed him to possess the strongest power of the 7-colored imperial dragon in his human form. In addition, the rest of the astral dharma power was also maximized. The power of the 4 astral dharma powers was quickly released, all of which could increase the level of astral power. In an instant, the astral power above his head was raised to the level of 63 cubic meters, which was enough to shock many people. At least the purple cloud star emperor was shocked. The original 55 cubic meters of astral power was already scary enough, but now it had increased to 63 cubic meters, which was a little scary. When he was a late-stage Grand Astral Venerable, he only had about 40 cubic meters of astral power at most, but Yi Tianyan had 63 cubic meters of astral power. It was a pity that there was no one here who could force him to use the swallowing galaxy. Otherwise, he would not only have 63 cubic meters of astral power, but would have been able to reach more than 70. When that happened, the purple cloud star emperor would be even more shocked. Who could achieve such a high level of astral power at this level of cultivation? Burning wrath of heavens. Yi Tianyun swung the thunder saber and slammed it forward. The full power of the burning wrath of heaven's suit burst forth, and flames swept across the surroundings, causing the temperature to rise rapidly, burning the entire place red, as if it had turned into a red-hot iron wok. Boom! Under his ferocious attack, the puppet was knocked back dozens of meters, and it was at this moment that Yi Tianyun counterattacked. Your power is not bad, but if you think this will end it, you're too naive. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor was very satisfied with Yi Tianyun's performance, but it was impossible for him to continue suppressing the puppet with this level of power. The puppet was not that simple. The puppet was not afraid of death, and it had an inexhaustible supply of astral power and a tough body. How could it let Yi Tianyun succeed? Sure enough, in the next moment, the puppet's eyes burst with a shocking divine light, and a layer of astral power quickly shrouded above it, and in the blink of an eye, 43 cubic meters of astral power appeared. Previously, the puppet did not use astral power, and the Purple Cloud Star Emperor thought that it could not be used. Who knew that the puppet could still use astral power? After using astral power, the power exploded all at once, and the already terrifying puppet's aura rapidly increased by dozens of times. Its combat power increased greatly, and it felt like it was infinitely close to the cultivation of a divine star venerable. Yi Tianyun's eyes turned cold, and he directly used the Swallowing Galaxy, swallowing up 1/3 of the astral power in one gulp. At the same time, his own 63 cubic meters of astral power suddenly rushed to 68 cubic meters, which was even more heaven-defying. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor's eyes were stunned. He did not expect Yi Tianyun to have such an ability. The five-colored Emperor Dragon has such an ability? He had never seen the five-colored Emperor Dragon use this ability, but it was a brand new special ability. After increasing the astral power to 68 cubic meters, Yi Tianyun became even more heaven-defying and powerful. Originally, it would have been fine if the puppet did not use astral power, but now that it did, it seemed even more heaven-defying. 7 shining stars of wrath. Yi Tianyun waved the thunder saber, and all the power of thunder in his body rushed out and gathered on the thunder saber. Originally, he could only use 7 attributes, but now there was an additional attribute, and it became 8 attributes. In an instant, the surrounding space seemed to have stagnated, and the domineering power caused the space to stagnate. As his saber fell, the puppet that was originally rushing over was so scared that it dodged. This was not controlled by the Purple Cloud Star Emperor, but the puppet really dodged. The puppet that was not afraid of death and being beaten before actually dodged. Go to hell! Yi Tianyun roared and slashed down heavily. The puppet couldn't dodge in time, and was hit by Yi Tianyun's heavy blade. Clang! The sound of metal clashing resounded throughout the Spirit Mountain. Who would win and who would lose? Boom! The 8-colored saber aura slashed forward, and the battle stage was split into 2. When the light gradually disappeared, what appeared in front of them was the puppet, almost split in half. Chapter 2255. The hard puppet was almost split in half by Yi Tianyun's strike. Although it was not completely split, the puppet had already lost its combat power. Only a small part of it was left uncut. Most of it had already been split in half. In such a situation, the puppet fell backward, paralyzed on the ground, unable to move. It's too hard. I only managed to split it in half even with all my strength. Yi Tianyun withdrew the thunder long saber in his hand. There was a dent on the thunder long saber, which looked quite miserable. This was the result of going head-on against the puppet. The thunder long saber almost broke. Fortunately, he had the strength to support it. Otherwise, it would have been split in half. In general, Yi Tianyun was quite satisfied with his ability. When he used all his strength, even a top-grade star venerable puppet would have to retreat. The effect was very obvious just now. The puppet was frightened by his strength and dodged to the side. If it had not dodged, the puppet would have been split in half. This was based on the premise that Yi Tianyun had not used his crazy mode. If he had used all his strength, it would have been easier to deal with the puppet. However, he still wanted to test the limits of his strength. Sure enough, he could still kill the opponent without using his crazy mode. Just when he thought he was relieved, a beam of light suddenly appeared on the ground and quickly shrouded the puppet. In the blink of an eye, the injuries on the puppet healed quickly. In a short while, the puppet was completely healed and became a complete puppet. There were no scars on it at all. The severely damaged puppet was actually healed in the blink of an eye. Again? Etienne's face fell. He had already split it in half, and now it had recovered. Do I have to hold on for 1.5 hours? It had only been a little more than 1.5 hours. There was still a long way to go. According to this rule, it would be useless to defeat it. After the puppet stood up, it did not continue to fight. It stood there motionless like a statue. Congratulations on passing the 10th level, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor said with a smile. I passed. Etienne looked at the puppet and said doubtfully, I thought I had to hold on for the time it takes for 3 incense sticks to burn. Otherwise, I would have to continue fighting. You've already defeated it, so there's no need for you to persist for the time it takes for 3 incense sticks to burn. The rules aren't that strict. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor was quite satisfied with Etienne. He praised, Your strength is not bad. You are one of the best among the Grand Star Venerables. Among all the geniuses I've seen, you belong to the upper echelon. On the upper level. Etienne's eyes narrowed. Studying the words carefully, he realized that something was amiss. His explosive power could only be considered to be in the upper echelon of geniuses that the Ziyun Star Emperor had seen. He was still a distance away from the top geniuses. Yes, your performance just now was very good, but you're still lacking compared to some super geniuses. Whether it is in terms of bloodline, physique, or martial arts, they are far superior to you. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor said with a smile. Of course, you don't have to be discouraged. Your starting point is much lower than theirs. They have been nurtured by many powerful fighters since they were born, so the situation is naturally different. Etienne nodded. He could understand this. The difference in environment allowed one's starting point to be much higher. For example, if he wanted to break through to the Star Venerable rank or the Grand Star Venerable rank, he would need to look for divine medicine. As for these geniuses, their elders had already prepared all the divine medicine and placed it in front of them. They even helped to protect them. Such a smooth journey, with all kinds of divine medicine. How could they not be strong? However, Etienne believed that he was stronger than them. He had worked his way up bit by bit, unlike those young masters who had not gone through too many trials and tribulations. I know, but there's no way they can beat me. Etienne smiled confidently. It seems that you have a steady mind, but it's true. They are superior to you in all aspects, but there is one aspect that they are inferior to, and that is their mentality and experience. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor sighed. It's because their path is too smooth that they can easily fail or be thwarted. This is why we let the heirs of the 5-colored Emperor Dragon continue to develop. Only after going through layers of training can they become the true heirs of the 5-colored Emperor Dragon. This was why the Purple Cloud Star Emperor and the others did not interfere with the heirs of the 5-colored Emperor Dragon. They had seen too many geniuses who grew up with silver spoons in their mouths, and they were numb to it. So that's how it is. Etienne finally understood what they meant. Cultivation was important, but mental training was even more important. All right, go and get your reward, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor said. Etienne's gaze shifted to the broken Zune flower at the side. He could finally get his hands on this broken Zune flower. He then walked over, plucked the broken Zune flower, and placed it in his inventory. He could finally get his hands on one of the broken Zune flowers. All that was left was the Star God grass. Thank you, Elder, Etienne said gratefully. There's no need to thank me. This is what you deserve. If you didn't pass the 10th level of the trial, you wouldn't have gotten your hands on this broken Zune flower. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor smiled. All right, I can't help you with the rest. I've given you what I should. No, Elder. You still have something to give me. Etienne smiled, but there was a hint of devilish charm in his smile. There's still something I haven't given you? The Purple Cloud Star Emperor was taken aback, but he quickly understood. He smiled and pointed at him. How greedy! You've taken a fancy to my Purple Gold Divinity Pavilion, haven't you? The Purple Gold Divinity Pavilion was even more precious. It could be said that obtaining the Purple Gold Divinity Pavilion was equivalent to obtaining control of this place. The key was that whoever entered would be killed by him. Hee, I wonder if Elder is willing to give it to me? Etianyan asked with a smile. There's nothing to be unwilling about. Anyway, this Purple Gold Divinity Pavilion has long been meaningless. If you want it, then take it. Anyway, I've basically delegated control to you. You've taken all the precious items, and the rest is just an empty shell. The Purple Cloud Star Emperor smiled and waved his hand. He was rather generous. Thank you, Elder. Etianyan was overjoyed. He thought that he would be rejected, but he didn't expect that he would agree so quickly. With the Purple Gold Divinity Pavilion, it was equivalent to having an incomparably huge fortress. When necessary, he could even hide in it. Under this incomparably sturdy fortress, even a divine star venerable would not be able to break in. Chapter 2256. When the Violet Cloud Star Emperor saw Etianyan's excited expression, he smiled and shook his head. When you reach a higher level of cultivation, you will know that this is nothing. I know that, but for now, it means a lot to me. Etianyan knew that when one reached a higher level of cultivation, one's surroundings would change. It was like the first time he came up from the lower world, and found that the most powerful treasure in the lower world was useless here. Or rather, it was not even comparable to the weakest treasure here. When one's level increased, the things one encountered would naturally be different. Well, since you have said so, I will transfer the control of the Violet Gold Divinity Pavilion to you. The Violet Cloud Star Emperor reached out and flicked his finger. A ray of light fell on Etianyan, indicating that he had completely gained control of the Violet Gold Divinity Pavilion. Etianyan also felt that he had become one with the Violet Gold Divinity Pavilion, and he could feel every corner of the Violet Gold Divinity Pavilion. Thank you, Senior. Etianyan expressed his gratitude once again. Don't mention it. It's just a small token of my appreciation. I'm giving you a little extra help. The Violet Cloud Star Emperor stroked his chin. If those old fellows find out that I am giving you such preferential treatment, I wonder if they will gossip? Etianyan was stunned. He knew that the old fellows the Violet Cloud Star Emperor was talking about must be at the same level as he was. If it makes things difficult for you, Senior, then I don't want it anymore, Etianyan said after thinking for a while. That's an exaggeration. The main thing is that those old fellows said not to give you any help. To be honest, I'm not breaking the rules, am I? You came here to train and passed the test perfectly. Obtaining the Violet Gold Divinity Pavilion is equivalent to proving your own strength. The Star Emperor of Purple Cloud thought for a while and said with a smile, Forget it, don't think too much about it. I will leave this place to you. I won't be staying here any longer. I hope that the next time we meet, you will have broken through to the Heavenly Star Supremacy level. I also want you to become the true inheritor of the five-colored Emperor Dragon. I think you are very good, ha ha ha. After the Violet Cloud Star Emperor laughed, he gradually disappeared. This trace of divine will was about to disappear completely. Since the control had been handed over to Etianyan, there was no need for him to stay here any longer. Thank you, Senior. Etianyan slowly knelt down. He was very grateful to the Xian Star Emperor. Kid, work hard. The Star Emperor of Xian did not say anything more and completely disappeared from this space. He did not say anything more and let nature take its course. After the Xian Star Emperor completely disappeared, a voice rang in Etianyan's ears. Ding. Special quest. Obtain the Purple Gold Divine Pavilion completed. Reward. 5 billion star energy, 10,000 good deeds, and 3 system evolution points. Upon hearing this news, Etianyan's eyes lit up. This was an unexpected surprise. The most important thing was not the star energy, but the 3 evolution points. With these 3 evolution points, he could easily level up Crazy Mode. Level up Crazy Mode. Etianyan did not hesitate. With the evolution points, he would level up immediately. He had been looking forward to leveling up the system for a long time. Ding. 5 evolution points have been deducted. Successfully leveled up Crazy Mode. The next level requires 8 evolution points. Ding. Crazy Mode has completely evolved. The effect has been increased to 50 times. Nice. Tianyan was very satisfied. He had finally leveled up Crazy Mode to 50 times, and it had been doubled again. The next level would be to increase it to 100 times. However, it required 8 evolution points, which was quite difficult. Only God knew what kind of mission he could complete. Currently, the main mission had not appeared. It was not that he did not want to take the evolution points, but that he could not find them. Now that he had suddenly completed a special mission, he could obtain evolution points. Otherwise, he would not have been able to obtain them. It's about time to go back. Tianyan raised his head and looked at the spirit mountain. This spirit mountain had immediately become his. As long as he was willing, he could easily move everything here and obtain a lot of spirit herbs. Of course, the effects of these spirit herbs were negligible to him. He only wanted the star god grass, so these things were of limited help to him. Following that, his figure flickered and he easily teleported to the palace. At that moment, Tian Xinghuan had already woken up. She had successfully broken through to the mid-stage Star Venerable Realm, which was quite a big improvement. Young Master Yi, you are finally back. Where did you go? I woke up and found that you were gone. Tian Xinghuan heaved a sigh of relief when she saw Tianyan return. She had been fiddling with this place for a long time, but she had not found any exit or entrance. I went to pass some trials and am finally back. Tianyan smiled. He did not tell them that he had become the master of this place. It was not that he wanted to hide it, but he wanted to give them a surprise. Trials? What trials? Tian Xinghuan was a little confused. She had been wandering around here for a long time, but she did not see any trial passages. When Tianyan was about to explain, the gate opened slowly. Then a familiar figure appeared in front of them, Zhu Xing. Zhu Xing was one step faster than Jing Xian, and was the second to arrive. However, before he could take a few steps, Jing Xian also walked in from outside. The two of them were about the same speed. Originally, it would have taken them a long time. After all, 2 members of the giant beast race had sneaked in. As long as someone was challenging the guards, they would not be able to challenge them. Just now, the Purple Cloud Star Emperor had caught those 2 fellows. Naturally, there were empty spots for them to challenge. Thanks to their extraordinary strength, they passed the trials of the guards and obtained their own keys. Then they came in. The power of those guards was at the late stage of the Grand Star Venerable Realm. They were much weaker than the puppets. It was not an easy trial. However, when Zhu Xing came in excitedly and saw that both Tianyan and Tian Xinghuan were there, his face fell. He thought he was the first to come in. Who knew that Tianyan and Tian Xinghuan would come in before him? How is this possible? Why are the 2 of you here? Zhu Xing was extremely shocked. Not to mention Tianyan. Why was Tian Xinghuan earlier than him? Each key could only allow 1 person to pass. This meant that both of them needed to obtain a key to enter. In reality, this was not the case. All of Tianyan's purple gold keys could allow multiple people to enter. This was practically cheating. Why can't we stay here? Tianyan said calmly. Are you the only one who can pass the trials of the guards? Chapter 2257. Zhu Xing's face turned gloomy. He was very unhappy with Tianyan's attitude. He would have fought with Tianyan a long time ago if it were not for the fact that they could not fight each other here. Young Master Tianyan, I did not expect you to come in so quickly. Jing Xian was very confused. Even though she was smart and could deduce many things, there were still many things that she could not figure out. For example, she did not know that Tianyan had the key. She would not have been able to figure it out. Yes, we are a little faster. Tianyan smiled. He did not tell the truth. There was no need to tell the truth to her. Jing Xian nodded. It was not just fast. It was much faster than them. especially when they were given priority to train, and they were even faster than them. It was very strange. However, she did not ask further. It was fast. Was there any other way to get in? Zhu Xing didn't say a word and looked around. Apart from the thick purple gas that could bring them a strong effect, there was nothing else. Younger sister Jing Xian, if we absorb the purple gas here and cultivate, our cultivation will improve a little. Zhu Xing did not bother with Yi Tianyan. Instead, he turned his attention to Jing Xian. He did not want to give up. Tianxing suddenly burst out laughing. What are you laughing at? Zhu Xing's face turned gloomy. He felt like Tianxing was laughing at him. I'm laughing at how happy you are. When we first came in, the purple qi here was dozens of times denser than it is now. Tianxing Huan's beautiful eyes were filled with mischief as she teased. It's a pity that we've absorbed it all. That feeling is pretty good. Dozens of times denser. Zhu Xing narrowed his eyes. He snorted and said, "That's nothing. I don't care." He was stubborn. When he saw Tianxing break through to the middle stage of Grand Star Venerable, he knew how powerful the effect was. If they were in his family, they would have to spend a lot of resources to raise their cultivation. Not only would they need resources, but they would also need a lot of time. Now they had broken through easily in a short time. He was very envious of them. He did not admit it, but he was envious of them. When he took a closer look, he found that Yi Tianyan had broken through to the late stage of Grand Star Venerable, which made him even more furious. All the benefits were taken by Yi Tianyan, and he could only barely get the soup. Oh, as expected of young Master Zhu of a large family. You don't even care about this, but I do care about it very much. Tianxing Huan covered her mouth and chuckled. She could see that Zhu Xing was just being stubborn. Even the Zhu family and the Chu family could not produce such an effect. Are you saying that the purple qi here was very dense before? Jing Xian walked over and asked doubtfully. Yes, the purple qi was quite rich, but we absorbed it all. It must have been accumulating for a long time, but we've already absorbed all of it. Heavenly Star Ring answered honestly. So it's like that. Jing Xian looked around. After sizing up the place for a while, she slowly said, "The effect is quite good. It's continuously released for the trial taker to absorb as a reward for passing the guard? But isn't this reward a little too shabby?" Jing Xian frowned. She did not think this should be the case. They had passed so many trials, but they could only practice here. Wasn't it a little too shabby? It's not shabby. First of all, you'll get a Star Venerable level treasure. If you don't pass the trial, you won't be able to get anything. Then, you'll get some rewards for passing the 4 guards. Although they aren't Star Venerable level treasures, you'll at least get some special rewards, right? Yi Tianyan retorted calmly next to her. The violet gold divine pavilion could be considered to be his territory. Wouldn't Jing Xian's words be equivalent to talking about him? So he would have to retort. They had defeated the 4 guards, but they hadn't gotten any treasures. Instead, they had gotten a wisp of pure astral power. After absorbing it into their bodies, they could strengthen their bodies slightly. It was a pretty good benefit. This kind of benefit was useless to him. His physique was strong enough. Looks like young Master Tianyan knows a lot. Jing Xian walked up to Yi Tianyan with a smile. She looked very beautiful, but she gave people goosebumps, as if she could see through them. It's okay. Yi Tianyan smiled casually. He was not afraid to look Jing Xian in the eye. When she was about to ask more questions, a beam of light suddenly flashed on the platform next to them. Then the old man from the spiritual mountain appeared in front of them. Congratulations on passing the trial. If you want to take away the things here, you'll have to complete the last step. The old man's voice was emotionless. Yi Tianyan squinted. This should be according to the normal procedure. It wasn't under his control. Complete the last step? What's the last step? Zhu Xing asked confusedly. The last step is to make an oath with the purple gold divine pavilion. You'll swear to be the giant beast's enemy. The oath will be automatically lifted if you kill 500 giant beasts above the Grand Star Venerable level. The old man looked at them and said slowly, "If you don't make the oath, you'll have to leave the treasures behind. Then you can leave. We won't force you." As expected, the necessary procedure was still in place. This was established to kill the giant beasts. When they reached the last step, they would naturally have to make an oath. If they didn't make the oath, who knew if they would kill the giant beasts after they left? As expected, did you all make an oath? Jing Xian turned her head and looked at Yi Tianyan. We haven't. But if we don't make an oath, we won't be able to take away the treasures. Yi Tianyan shrugged. He walked over and said, I promise to be the giant beast's enemy until I kill 500 grand star venerable beasts. If I don't fulfill my promise, I'll be punished by heaven. Okay. The old man nodded and pointed at him. A beam of light fell on his body. This meant that the oath had taken effect. This wasn't a scam. It had really taken effect. Even if he was the master of the purple gold divine pavilion, he still had to fulfill this oath. The old man was following the procedure. He wouldn't choose not to make an oath just because he was the master of the purple gold divine pavilion. The biggest difference between him and the others was that he wouldn't make an oath or take away the treasures. However, Yi Tianyan had to do this in order to make it more realistic and hide his real identity. This wasn't a problem for him. After all, he had to kill the giant beasts. It was just a matter of quantity. Since they saw Yi Tianyan make an oath, they could only make an oath. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to take away any treasures. A star venerable level treasure was a good deal in terms of quality-price ratio. Moreover, they would kill the giant beasts if they ran into them. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.